decider isn't the third map. The decider is the second one, because Sango, they should have nuke without a problem. Like it should be easy for them to win on nuke. We know how sick they are. We know that Sinners, they're not necessarily bad on nuke, but they struggle on it. It's not their go-to. It's not a map that they enjoy playing. On the other side, of course, Inferno is pretty much even. When you look at the statistics, it's 79% win rate for Sinners, 78% win rate for Sankyo. But of course, in matches between those two teams, Sinners, they've won both Inferno games. So we could say that it is slightly in favor of Sinners for Inferno, but still Sankyo have a chance there. And they could surely put up an upset. Now, if we go 1-1 after the first two, I believe Sinners could take it. But for now, my prediction about the entire best of three is going to be 2-0 in favor of Sanko.
Without a doubt. And of course, the people you saw on webcam there were our lovely colleagues over the Russian broadcast. We're not Russian. We're English, we're Bulgarian. Yeah. And we're not on webcam, unfortunately. But yes, you can hear our voices. And without further ado, let's get underway with this pistol round. It's going to be fairly util heavy round the board for Sinners. As you see, CZ dropped smoke hero there as well, but it wouldn't matter. Logic Man will kick things out with an early kill onto Neofrag. Follow-up players make their way on down towards Secret. Zedko trying to do damage wherever possible. Again, damage done either way. It's Shock to find Engine, and now with Beastie on low HP as well. Sangal find themselves in a 4v4 and a moment to just stagnate a little bit and enter a bit of a lull.
They have as Sinners, they react to giving up Secret control, pushing towards lobby, clearing the entire upside area of the map. And now Sinners, they know exactly where Sanko are. The question is, can they find the headshots? Because if Zedko falls, that's going to mean that the entire B-bomb side is completely open for business. Zedko spotting the initial player. Still, Sanko, they're second guessing themselves. They're kind of waiting for Sinners to go for aggression and to walk into their crosshairs. So far, this hasn't been working. Now it works. They go for the 1-for-1, and they can go back towards that A side actually if they want to.
As they take a moment to lull, and as they take a moment to move on towards this A site, let's see how they fare moving forward. Again, a bit of an aggression up from heaven, a bit of an aggression up from elsewhere, as Sinners, they have a really hard time trying to catch out some of these members. Shock on ramp after he falls. Well, beautiful shot. 3-on-2, and I think from here onwards, Sangal may be in a, well, hard place as Zedko finds a shot like that onto Major. 2-on-2 now, Paz to respond, so it all falls down to Oscar. 1-on-2, what can he do here?
Well, he'll do just enough. Oscar taking down the pistol with his CZ. Of course, it is a bit of a strange investment having the CZ, but he makes it work. And if it works, it works. Sanko, we're gonna go down to the pistols here. Not gonna force up. Or, as I say that, they might actually go for it. And indeed they will. They will force up on the back of killing 4 players. Of course, not having the bomb down might have made them change their minds, but they'll have the Khalil, the Scout, and the pistols wanting to reset the economy of Sinners as fast as possible. And Imor, that's a nice way to begin with. Doesn't find the kill, but does find a lot of damage onto Oscar.
Absolutely. Perfect opening. And now we look elsewhere. It's going to be down to the players to try and catch out the odd member wherever possible. Logic Man scopes on in, aggressing towards outside, trying to catch out one of these members. Can't do so just yet, as no one dare peek him. Elsewhere, though, it's going to be down to these members just trying to do the odd bit of damage wherever possible. Sangal, with a fairly comfortable setup, are going to continue to push on forward, but they don't find anyone just yet. Instead, you see Sinners making a bit of damage, but not falling, meaning they can still deploy utility, they can still fight, but towards outside, Logic Man, he'll strike first. Zedko falls with 2 players still on no HP. Sinners find themselves in a bit of trouble here.
They do, and this force buy could be dangerous. Oscar and Shock are heavily tagged. At this point, Sango, they need to just wait and try and punish any substantial aggression from the side of Sinners, because at this point, the CTs, they need to push. They need to push, go for information play. Oh, but the timing is perfect. They heard it. And that's the bomb. That is the bomb. Imor doesn't get the kill. Beastic is gonna drop pass as well. And, well, this just little moment of noise, this little mistake from Imor could cost them the round, as Logic and Major now left in the 2 vs 3. Major heavily tagged with his Galil with 15 seconds to work with. I think they gave up on that one. This should be the force, the safe rather. And, well, Sinners, they make it work.
Without a doubt, for the time being, it's going to fall down to a 2-on-3, and Sangal, they're just safe, understandably so. They hold on to that Famous, they hold on to that Galil. It'll do a lot of damage next round, especially considering they're going to be on an eco anyway. As they pull on ahead, let's see just what Sinners can do to try and catch out these members. For the most part, we do see Sinners, their buy, it's shaky for the most part. It's not the best, but for the... I doubt it will matter as Sangal. They move on forward with what will be a few deagles here or there. And a very shaky buy for the most part in an attempt to at least damage the Sinners' economy.
They will try to do so, but look at Sinners, they're just pushing towards outside, taking down Engine. Now they need to be careful about Logic. Well, Neo has got his number. Oscar, the same with Imor, and just like that, Pass and Major are the two men left for this Sangal squad. And the big problem here for Sangal isn't that they're gonna lose the round. It was a round that I don't think they thought that they could win. The problems are that they haven't inflicted any damage yet, and they need to find at least 1 or 2 players just to make these Galils worth it.
Let's see if it works out, but with it all down to Paz, last man left standing. You can hope for damage, but the reality is, Sinners, they're playing bonus next round anyway because of the MP9s, so they're going to be in a perfect position, just trying to do a bit of damage wherever they can. The Sangal, their map pick, it gets started with a relatively weak start.
They are, of course, those 3 initial rounds, they're kind of all on the back of the pistol. If you lose the pistol, which we know it's a bit random, so Sinners, of course, winning the pistol, winning the initial rounds is a perfect start for them, but now Sangal is going to be their time to shine. They're going to have the AKs, the Galils, the grenades, and the first things first, they go for outside aggression, for outside control and presence. This is one of the basic things that you need to do on the T side, but in the meantime, Neo, he's going to drop Immer.
Now with that early kill, it's going to allow him to back on away, and well, it will double up as well as Major topples, and for Sangal now, this is a bit scary, as even on their full buy, they haven't done, well, any damage really to Sinners. Irfrak's taken a bit, Oscar will take a negligible amount. But for the most part, Sangal really find themselves in a positive position to pull on ahead. Let's go, he'll do a bit of a...
2-man advantage for the side of Sinners. Sangal looking to fire back an Engine. He'll do exactly that. The point now is, where do you go from here? Because Sinners have both A and B sides completely covered.
Now, it's going to be just Engine to try and make his way up in towards Heaven. He's taking a while to stagnate towards outside. Looks like Shock is more than wary of this push that could come his way. Elsewhere as well, we've got Beastie ready to dive on forward, catch out these members. As nothing comes for now. Still waiting for the peak, and well, as the set piece goes down, Neofrag shuts down Paz, and with that follow-up push comes through, Beastie on the flank of these 7 players. Will look to shut down these members. It's messy, but Engine falls all on Logic Man. 1 versus 4, and without the bomb, I think he may be out of luck.
Indeed he is, as Oscar quick to take him down. Sangal still struggling to win their first as they go for the tactical timeout. Sinners on a flying start, and we know Nuke might not be as city-sided as it used to be. It's surely not as city-sided. You know that, in my opinion, it might even be slightly T-sided, of course, considering that it really depends who's playing it, which teams are playing it, but when on the CT side you start so well, when you have the money for the AWP, even the double AWP if you wish, when you have the full grenades, it could become really hard for the teams to kind of just break your streak. Once they do, they might win a couple of rounds, but it is a pretty momentum-based map, in my opinion, especially for the CTs. If they start winning rounds, if they start just building up confidence, that might actually backfire for Sangal.
Without doubt, let's see how they fare moving forward, and what will be a bit of a tough showing. Again, a few shots either way. Outside control established by Sangal, but as of right now, Sinners aren't really fighting for it. Instead, as they back on their way, we'll see these players just try to outmaneuver one another. Instead, as nades land at their feet, follow-up push goes through. Zedco ready for anyone to dare come their way. As for now, Sangal in this lull, hold firm.
For now, Sango taking their time, just playing the default, trying to find peaks with the Digos and Shock. He needs to be careful here as Pass is quick on the refrag, but the rotation from Heaven is going to deny, but Pass has the angle. Didn't quite connect the shot. Of course, he'll have a second chance, and Zedko in the meantime cancelling the entire outside push. Yet again, man advantage for Sinners. And by the way, what I love about the approach from Sinners is that they're not shy to go for duels against the Pistols, but in the meantime, they're still cautious. They're still careful. Now, this timing from Imor could backfire, but I think they spotted him. And well, Neo, he has spotted him. Past the one man left. Sinners are not, they're neither just going in the faces of the Pistols. They're not going up close to risk it, but still they're not going back when they have the chance to fight and kill them. And this balance is pretty much something pretty nice to have in rounds like that, because you see a lot of teams not knowing exactly how to approach these rounds when they start losing them once. And well, it is pretty nice on the CT side to know that you don't lose too many members and you don't get reset on the back of just losing players to ecos.
For now, let's see how Sangal play, as for the most part it's going to be a bit of an early showing, nothing too substantial though, as for the time being it's going to be Sangal to try and catch out some of these members, trying to catch out the odd player who comes their way. But Sangal, they've just not been able to catch out any of these players for the time being, as Sinners have really been the ones to hold firm and shut down anyone who comes their way. Instead, we see Zedko trying to catch out some of these members, but it's Sangal who, with actually a fairly quiet default, trying to catch out these members for the time being, will look to just swarm this site. And as BCK finds Imor, who will try and make his way out from Squeaky, it leaves Sangal in a very tough position to try and make up for this differential, but Zedko drives it home. Logic Man Fools, Engine Trade, still a man advantage for Sinners though, as Engine Fools, so a measly 13 HP.
And the problem here for Sango isn't that they're man down. The problem is that they have no map control to work with whatsoever. There's a player pushed up towards ramp. There's outside control as well for the side of Sinners. And Sango, they need to make their way out simply with 1v1s. They need to win their duels, but look at that. Neo goes for the first. There's the molly. Oscar to double up. And Major, well, he's gonna take down Bistic, but to what avail? Sango, not even a bomb plant, which will mean that the maximum loss bonus won't even allow them to go for the full reinvestment. They'll have to be happy only with the pistols. And this is the point where, if you're on the T side, you realize, guys, something isn't going how it's supposed to go. Because so far, Imor, he's having such a tough time. He's 0 to 6, and he's a monster. He's a beast. He is the guy that has to carry Sango through this. He is the guy that has been carrying Sango through this entire tournament. And well, having your best player just struggling so much on your map pick could backfire massively.
Without a doubt, and it's something rough to see for the time being, as we see Sinners with a 6-0 lead against Sangal, as they try to topple just anyone who dare come their way. But for Sangal, what good will it do? What good will it do to have a couple of pistols here or there, the odd bit of utility, the odd bit of armor? You know, at what point can you stop looking for damage? Because right now, Sinners, their economy, it's not the greatest, but it's still thriving. And for Sangal, they don't need kills, they don't need damage, they need rounds. And if Sinners are able to go, 8-9-0 up, they're going to be in such a confident position to look to close out the map early, then Sangal might be in a really, really tough position.
We didn't really consider the 2-0 Sinners scenario, right? We didn't consider it.
Not at all. Not at all.
Let's see though, Oscar, he's gonna have the pistols on the other side. Just playing the Fango, but look at that from Pass. Well, that's just a pixel perfect trade there from Pass to start things off. And we've seen time and time again, teams that have been struggling, just on the back of a winning round like that, with pistols, with armors, their confidence, their bank just skyrocketing, and they just go for the comeback. And this might be the revival that Sango need now the 4 versus 4 the retake is on. As you said, Sinners, they don't care how many players they lose, but if they win the round. But so far, it just seems unlikely. Sango, they're fighting every single kill. And Logic, he's gonna continue every single headshot on the Digo. And Sango, just like that, they win number 1. And they win it in the best way possible, with the Digos.
Now having one around with the Eagles as well as getting up on plant means we can see that their economy is going to be shot up, and as they buy as well, it'll mean they'll have more left in their pockets. As Sinners, they'll look to resets. They can buy, granted, but players like Beastikey, they're actually going to have a bit of a shaky economic stance for the time being, and as Sangal pull on ahead as they look to move on forward, it means that we're going to see a very, very tough hold for the time being as Sinners enter. Will be their chance to reset Sangal. Alright, that shot was disgusting.
You know, if he doesn't land that, Oscar just deploys the molly, falls back, probably gets the first peek, calls for the rotation, the round is over. If Pass doesn't get that kill, the round is over. But that is just crazy. A crazy way for Pass to win the round. Of course, Imor yet to find his first kill. And I think that for Sinners, what they could worry about is, first of all, their economy. On the back of winning 6 rounds, they're going to be able to rebuy one more time. And they might not even be able to rebuy this one more time if they don't save guns here. And one more thing that they should be worried about. If Imor wakes up, what do you do? Because we know that this guy could be the game changer. Logic, quick to take the head of Zetko, and things are starting to look more like it for the side of Sanko.
Exactly, Oscar tries to do a bit of early damage, unable to do so though, as nades go out either way. Shock ready to catch out anyone who dare approach on his position. As Sangal, they look to make it 2 now with the assistance of Earmore on just 4 HP. Again, the Sinners with the standard setup around the map, 4 players looking to hold, and Sangal, they don't quite catch another man advantage. Shock, he reapproaches in time, a fine engine. He may look for a second here as he keeps pushing forward. A great shot to Major there. As suddenly, Sinners go a man up. Shock, despite being on just 20 HP, will still show his presence as he pulls ahead.
Still though, this B-bomb side is completely open for business. But as I say that, Oscar going for the fight, he's gonna fall to the HE actually of Immer. This is quite a way for Immer to get his first kill here on the map. And now the 3 versus 3. Massive HP advantage for the side of Sinners. And look at that HE from Neil. Just a double kill with it. Nothing much that Sango could do. And Sinners, well, they shut down Sango in the fastest way possible. They just don't allow them to win a second round in a row. They just don't want to allow them to feel confident whatsoever on their map pick as they make it 7.
They find themselves in an impossible scenario as, well, with that, let's see just how Sangal fare moving forward, but I'm losing hope for them, Ted, I really am, because as of right now, it looks like Sangal really going to pull ahead, and also like Sinners really going to pull ahead, and we might even see a quick, very, very swift game. Do you want to give a scoreline prediction for us?
A score prediction?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm scared, you know. Because I'm still waiting for that Immer factor, because this guy could be the game changer. So far those Sinners, they've been shutting the door completely for Sango. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you, if Sango win this one, it's gonna be OT. If Sinners win it, it's gonna be 16-5. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah.
This round here or pistol?
I really believe that Sanko could still win this one. But by the looks of it, Sinners, they don't think so as well. They don't think so. What do you think?
Sangal look lost at the moment. They genuinely do. And, you know, with Immor, who's meant to be their kind of like star player there, player who just gets kills left, right, and center no matter what, but only be on 1 kill 9 rounds in. I fear that for Sangal, they may not have been able to bring their A game here. I suspect it will be maybe 16-3, 16-5 in favor of Sinners. I can't see Sangal really bearing any equity in this game. But that doesn't mean they're out of the series. The Inferno's their chance to come back, but Sinners, they're going to be able to go on to Inferno with a lot of momentum.
Of course, Sango's still not out of this one, but I agree. At this point, Sinners, they just look better. And Sango, of course, Imor, he isn't the player to refrag, he isn't the clutcher. He is the entry fragger. He is the first man to kill win. And in a lot of times, even if Imor doesn't go crazy, if he gets only the first, for example, he just does so much to open things up, just to open so much space for his team, to give them so much information. So far, he's just getting killed with smokes from behind. He's just getting annihilated. They even tried, in a couple of rounds, they tried to send someone else to go for the entries because Zimmer is just having a hard time. But he's the guy that wins so much space for his team to work with, and they're capitalizing on that every single time, even if he doesn't find kills. And to have a guy that like that getting absolutely destroyed by Sinners, well, at this point, this is what is winning them so many rounds. And let's not forget, Sango are yet to win a buy round. They've won only one with Pistos.
Without a doubt. And now as Sangal, they look to get early secret control. They can't really move forward. They do have two players they're going to be walking straight into. And they realize this. They turn their attention back around. They come up from secret, but Zed coming Garage. He's going to hit all of this. He's going to hit everyone make their way towards him. And it looks to catch him out. Unfortunately, doesn't react, and Paz will punish him. It's an early quick kill as he turns his attention back towards Heaven. Sinners now have to do a mass exodus towards Ramp in an attempt to try and hold the safe site.
They will, and now in a 4 versus 5 Sango, they might have the upper hand into this one. There's the flashes. They're going to storm in towards that A-bomb side. Shock. There's fire back. Beastick as well, and Shock. How is that?
My lord.
That has just rumbled. What happened? That is impossible.
Hello,
that is it. Shock is all alone towards single door.
Welcome to the game.
With an AWP and a Deagle. My man just sent him the IP in the chat and told him, guys, are you gonna connect? That's exactly what he did. Sango, they played it so well. The idea was there. The flashes were there. Everything. But they weren't ready for Shock just going on the 3K, 2 with the Deagle, and Beastick as well. That was a complete and utter shutdown. I'm speechless.
Sangal, they take a moment to they take a moment to time out, and understandably so, to be honest. What in God's name was that? As Shot comes out on top, he forces Sangal down into the dirt. As we now see them buy up as best they can. Unfortunately, there's no AWP on Logic Man. Actually, they may be on the floor, but for the time being, it's going to be Sinners who really put themselves in a comfortable position, and Sinners who, even if they lose every round from here on out, will still have a comfortable CT half.
Well, at this point, I think I might agree with you that Sinners have a chance to close this one out dominantly. Of course, everything could change. Sango, on paper, they can still win 6 rounds, and Pass, he thinks exactly that. Neo going down after the first, or rather not going for the second. Shock in a 1 versus 3. Good for the first. There's Demolido, and he's down to 40 HP. Now, Shock, if he clutches this one, this is gonna be such a disaster, such a heartbreaking moment for the side of Sango, but he should have no chance whatsoever. No grenades to delay him. They'll have to get rid of him. Well, there's the smoke, there's the flash, and there does Shock go, but he's not ready for engine. Sango, they make it to still not resetting the economy of Sinners, but this is something to work with. The problem for Sango, still after winning this one, they're just gonna set back their loss bonus, and well, they're gonna be on the reset potential again.
It works. Like, granted, he does damage, but what good? What good is it? As Sangal, they get reset here. They go straight out the window, and so they won a round, but there was a lot of damage done nonetheless. But now they go for an early vent dive. It works out. Nearfrag can't quite punish it in time as these players dive on down him, or in perfect position to try and get a bit of a flank on here. Can he catch out some of these members? As the time being outside smokes get deployed, Zedco ready to aggress. Flash goes out, swing goes wide. He lines up one, dinks up the second, but Major perfectly.
Ooh, what was that from Mimmer? What was that? What a kill from Immer that was. And Beastic now. He needs to shut him down. Doesn't do so. Immer! Good morning. Immer is back. And, well, this might be the recipe for disaster for the side of Sinners. This guy, he's absolutely phenomenal. And if he continues like that, well, if he gets fired up, Sinners might be in for a tough time. Logic to shut down Oscar. And just like that, this buy from Sinners has been completely annihilated. And, well, what we said about Sangal having the chance to win 6 rounds doesn't seem that far-fetched at this point. As Neo, he's gonna be the last man standing to try and save his AK, which of course could allow his team to go for a buy. No AWP available though, which will be quite sad for Sinners on the back of winning 9 rounds so far, but still it is a pretty decent side. Sangal have a long way to go if they want to go for the comeback. Of course, it is not impossible. This is their map pick. We know how good they are on Nuke. We know that they just had a slow start, but if Immer wakes up now, well, that might be the point that Sinners just can give up on that and go, okay, we had our time here, we had our fun time, he's back in the server, let's go to Inferno.
You're right, I do fear for Sinners in terms of Sangal are now woken up, but has the damage already been done? Sinners, surely they don't forfeit like 10 rounds in a row.
Yeah.
Surely they adapt at some point and really start turning the handle of success. But we'll have to see how they fare, and for Sinners, it's Util going either way as Nays land at their feet. Util goes down, and well, for now, let's see if Sangal are able to catch out anyone for the time being, as Sinners do hold firm. Neofrag at the close squeaky position will look to just drop the odd bit of utility here or there, and tell you what, for Sinners, they do look pretty damn strong right now. Even though Sangal have been able to find a couple of rounds, I don't know if it's enough.
Let's see though if the Digo and the UMP are gonna work for the CTs, because the initial push towards A will come any moment now. Molotovs, flashes, everything is gonna rain towards that A bomb side, and Sangal, they need to find the shots. This is Sangal's round to win. If they win this one, they could pretty much make it 6 on the back of it, but if they get denied here by these mollies and these AGs, this is when it backfires. Because when you decide to play on 30 seconds on the clock, one Molotov will make you play when there's, what, 25, 20, and this might collapse for Sangal as Neo, he's still towards the back of the side. Neofrag and Oscar, they just shut him down, and this is the point where this play from Sangal just collapses. The smoke is deployed towards single door, which means that every single player needs to go towards hut, and there's just 2 players on the crossfire ready for that. Sinners, welcome to the meat grinder.
Beautiful round by Sinners there, even better setup, and tell you what, even from the moment that setup was even conceived, they were able to just wipe that Sinners side, or that Sangal side, my apologies, as they run straight into them. The molly as well, the timing was perfect. They punished Sangal for trying to play at late game. Sangal underestimating how much utility Sinners actually had and the strength of their economy. As Sinners punish, this forces Sangal down to it's a buy, but it's a shaky one at that.
They have the AKs and the armors, but they're lacking utility a lot. You said it. And they don't have a single smoke, which might lead to their detriment. Even if they find a bomb plant, to hold the side after is going to be extremely hard. And at this point, Sinners, they're more than happy to take the fights, as Paz, he's going to take the head off the shoulders of Shock. And this might be a recipe for disaster. Oscar, though, this time with an AK. He has the cross and he needs to stop them. There's the flashes, dodges the first, not quite the second. Logic there to shut him down. And the B-bomb side, it has been completely secured and open. As Sinners, well, they need to go for the safe. Sangal, they're gonna make it 4 on the board. And still, they are fighting. But now, your question from earlier comes in. Has the damage been done already? Can Sangal recover from this one?
You say, yeah, it's a good question, and honestly, the furthest 2 teams can be apart with the game still being winnable is 11-4.
Yeah.
Sangal, they hit that 4th, so no matter what, they'll have a chance, but what good does a chance provide for them if Sinners are just going to, take pistol round and go from there? As of right now, we're going to have to see Sangal go ahead and not only do they have to take this pistol, they also have to find the conversion and really look to thrive and pull ahead, as Sinners will be the ones to try and shut them down.
We will see, of course, what happens. Sango, this round could actually make me think that they still have the power to fight Hero Nuke. Sinners are gonna have a pretty decent buy in terms of utility, but no AWP in the hands of Oscar. Beastic, he's gonna have only the MP9. Not that we haven't seen Sinners do damage in rounds like that, but if the approach from Sango is the right one, they shouldn't be allowed to do so. But as I say that, well, he's gonna find Immer with the volley, and Immer, he's down once again. This initial aggression from Immer is just getting denied every single time, and well, in the meantime, Shock, he's gonna re-aggress elsewhere, going towards Rob, taking control over the entire room, and Sango, just like that, are down in the 3 versus 5.
Let's see how they go on forward. As tell you what, for Sangal, they may just falter and stagnate here. We go on ahead to see Sinners make it 11, and we know that Sinners are going to have a chance on Inferno as well, one of which they go into as actually the people with an advantage. And so I tell you what, Ted, I think Sinners might be facing a potential 2-0 here.
That's quite the statement. That's quite a statement. I'm still afraid to say something like that, but
I'm not.
After every single kill that I see, I'm starting to get on the Sinners train as well. A little bit, because this was supposed to be a one-sided victory for Sangal Hero Nuke. This is their best map. This is their best map after Inferno. Like, for Sango, the only 2 maps that they have higher win percentage on are Inferno and Train. And, well, I mean, they love Dust as well, but this is one of their best ones. And they've been absolutely stumbled by Sinners, who necessarily haven't had the most success. They haven't even played it that much. They've played 5 maps here. And at this point, they're absolutely crushing Sango. But that makes it a bit tricky because, at this point, teams, they do prepare for these matchups. And Sango don't have so much material to prepare on from Sinners. They don't have so many demos to watch. On the other side, Sinners, they have like 10 demos only from the past 3 months that are on HLTV. And I believe that they might have even more that aren't on HLTV. For example, in ESCA, in Faceit qualifiers, and so on and so on. So it is really interesting to see how preparing for a game might actually make you have the upper hand. This is the same that we saw yesterday from Sango against Project X on Vertigo. Vertigo not necessarily being the best map of Sango, but they dominated, only on the back of preparation. But now, the same thing is backfiring. Sango, they're getting a taste of their own medicine.
No doubt, let's see how they fare for the time being, and what's going to be a fairly rough hold for Sangal. If Sinners get his pistol around, then it's over. This kind of star player of Sangal, Immort, he's only got 3 kills. He really is in a tough position, and for Sinners, this is their chance to move ahead. They go very util heavy for this pistol, though. We see 2 mollies, I think 3 flashes of smoke as well, which has already been deployed, just to bomb it over towards the outside and towards A. As Sangal, their response will just be a bit of util here or there. Dual barrettes in the hands of Immort trying to do some damage, but wouldn't matter. As Major finds the first, and as we go into a 5-on-4, Sangal's take a moment to go quiet.
They do, and as you said, this is a must-win pistol round. And for Sango, what is important is that they need Immer to wake up. He has so much impact on their wins. And, well, Immer, he's gonna find the first, as we're having slight technical issues right now with the overlay. And, well, just like that, Sango, they're gonna win it, as we're lagging really hard, guys. We're sorry about it. Essentially, we're just given a clean feed, so yeah, we're actually just restreaming a stream, so we don't control what we're seeing. When it lags there, well, it lags to us as well. We do apologize. We do apologize. what's important here is that Sanko, they managed to win the pistol. That would give them the chance to get back into this. Shock though, he's gonna find Immer somehow with a block elsewhere. And well, we're still having some issues. We're gonna reset this one just quickly. Again, we apologize, ladies and gents. This is just something that we have no control over. It's pretty much a clean feed that has been given to us. If it lags, we can't do anything. But nonetheless, Sango, they're gonna make it 6, shutting down the eco, but now Sinners onto a full buy, and everything should be alright now. As the AKs will come through for the Czech team. Now on the T side of Nuke, of course, Sango, they're not that far behind. What Kramer said in the first half, when you have the 11-4 lead, it is possible to go for a comeback. But Peter, I'm gonna throw it to you. Do you see Sango coming back from this one?
Honestly, it's doable. It's absolutely doable. I can't see it happening though. I think that for the most part it's going to be Sinners to try and get their cogs turning, to try and close it out against Sangal. So now, a couple of shots ring out either way. It's nothing too substantial. We'll wait to see how these teams fare. Im will wait behind this smoke lane to catch out these members as quickly as they can. Sangal get ready to push straight into them against Sinners on the angle. As Im right now, if you can find anyone with this MP9, it'll really dictate the pace of this round, but nothing comes just yet.
There's the resmoke towards Secret. Sango trying to delay the play as much as possible, and well, they don't need to commit. They have no map control whatsoever. Only one player towards Silo, so they know the commitment is their only option here. Sinners and Zetko, he's gonna take the head clean off the shoulders of Immer. Nice way to start things off. Although Engine, he's already here and he has the support of one more teammate of his, but Sinners, they're slowing down and they're just waiting for Sango to walk into their crosshairs. And so far, so good. It has been working out perfectly.
Now it kills either way, and it falls into a 3-on-2. Sinners, having put the Major down to just 8 HP as well. In perfect position, but Paz from behind will shut down Oscar. But with him going low HP as well, it puts both these Sangal players in a very, very tough position for the time being. See how they fare, pushing on ahead as, well, Major on the flank. It looks like he may even just consider saving right now. Pick up that AK, and it looks like he'll just back away.
Well, guys, we're extremely sorry for the problems with the overlay.
It's ours. It's on my side as well.
You have these problems as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that means that the problem isn't from the stream, it is from the overlay. We are extremely sorry, guys. Things like that happen, unfortunately. They do happen. Technical issues, they occur. There's nothing that we could do, but Sinners, nonetheless, they're gonna make it 12.
And as soon as make it 12, they really put Sangal in a tough position where they look to just move on ahead. And, well, for the most part, it's going to be really, really tough for Sangal. Their buy is shaky, their economy in ruins. As Sinners, well, with the assistance of a bomb plant, will buy up relatively easily.
By the way, I love the support that we have in the chat. Look, the stream is lagging. Like I would be pissed if I was watching this. It's lagging, and people are just sending hearts saying no problem. Guys, we love you. We love you. Thank you. Thank you.
That surprised me actually.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised. I'm not gonna lie, but thank you guys. Thank you for the
congrats on our lives, to be honest.
We do love it. Giving it our best. In the meantime, Sinners 12-6 up, and for Sango, this might be their last chance to fight here on their map pick of Nuke. They have the full investment, M4s, AKs, Oak, utility defuse kits, but if they fall here, well, it's gonna be GG. Logic, good for the first. Logic, good even for the second as you continue. That is more than enough though. So much damage has been inflicted. This should be Sango's round to take. And Engine trying to cement that even more. Oscar and Beastic now in the 2 versus 3, but Beastic is heavily tagged down to only 14 HP.
What good will it do right now? Oscar is good for one. He'll re-aggressive minds up two as well. Suddenly it falls down to Major in a 1 versus 1. He'll back away. Oscar with only 9 HP is going to look for a bomb plant right now. Major in perfect position to try and cancel out any aggression, to try and cancel out this player, but what good will it do? Looks like Oscar may lose the timing right now. Turn around at the last minute, but Major not quite going for this. Plant goes down. He'll shift on forward. Oscar, does he catch out Major? It won't matter. He turns around at the last moment. Major now with the blessings of time is going to start pushing on around.
Oh, when we have this split screen, Oscar walking towards the lobby, and all the timing might be so good for Major. He's gonna win it, and just like that, Sangal, they make it 7, but to what avail? They are so low on money, losing all 4 members here. And, well, there's gonna be yet another reset potential here for the CTs.
For now, we'll have to see how these teams fare moving forward. As for the most part, it's going to be such a tough hold for Sangal, as Sinners, they luckily go for an eco. That is Sangal's only hope right now, because it's a chance to farm some economy. Ibor, he goes for that next M10 to just try and farm some cash, but Beastie Key goes towards outside. Let's see if he wins this initial Eagle duel with the player hiding close towards red.
Sangal making it 8. Of course, this is what they're looking forward to do. They're looking forward to just try and build a wall in front of Sinners. Just try and feel confident. Try and be happy in the server. Like, know that there is no way that these guys run past us. We're gonna stop them no matter what. We have the guns, we have the utility. Yes, they don't have the AWP in the hands of Logic, which would be absolutely ideal, but still, pretty much anything that they might want. And there's no AWP on the other side as well to challenge it, so it is fine. It is fine. No ops on both sides. And, well, at this point, if Sinners lose one more buy round, yes, planting the bomb and having the max loss bonus will allow them to go for constant rebuys. But if they continue losing, Sangal might actually build up that extra confidence. And, you know, once this is your map pick and you're on the CT side and start winning rounds, you might actually feel like you've won it, even if you're down in the score still. I believe that Sangal at this point need only one more buy round to kind of have that killer mentality from there.
That's the other third push on ahead. Is for the most part, it's going to be a bit of a hard push for the time being. And what's going to be awkward for this Sinners side is that with these AKs, with this utility, they're trying to push on ahead. It's going to be so hard for them to hold. And, well, that one's going to catch out any of these members. Instead, Contraband the first to strike. Beastie Key falls. Trade not quite there from Neo Frags. He tries to spam down at the wall. He tags up him, or doesn't quite kill him though, as he backs it away. Let's see how this side holds.
Major going huge with the triple towards ramp, and Oscar, the one man standing now, picks up the bomb with everything to do. Still nothing happening. He's gonna have a player in front of him towards ramp now. Does he check for him though? Oscar, is he ready for this position? Indeed he is. Logic going down, and Oscar now in the 1 versus 2. Bomb will go down, which means of course doesn't matter what happens, he will be able to rebind to the next one, but he's actually playing this smart. He's going towards that A bomb side, and at this point he might have outplayed both players. He will have the time to go for a perfect after plant position. The question here is, how much time do they need to realize? He's gonna get the bomb down. He hears the player coming in from vents. He needs to try and stop him.
Oscar ready for the player to push out towards him. But he doesn't go for the fight, which is going to be part of his blessing right now. He hears the player go up from heaven. But Imo, what a shot there as he takes Oscar's head. Khalid off, a beautiful shot now. And Sangal makes it 9. They look to claw their way back into this.
They are. Of course, having the lows bonus and the bomb plant will allow Sinners to go for the full reinvestment. Shall they want to go for it? Which I'm not sure that they will actually. I think they might want the AWP already in the hands of Oscar, and this is gonna be more of a half buy to try and harm the economy of the CTs, and it's exactly what they're going for. only pistols, armor, grenades, which of course on nuke could be really dangerous, especially if you go for a fast-paced play inside. But let's see how they fare just for now.
Being shots around either way. It's the shoot down major as the eco comes forward. The push goes out, and well, Sinners looks to try and catch out anyone who dare comes their way. Instead, they in a lull, as we'll see. He seems to make their way on forward. Engine able to trade, and it's a good 4-on-3. Has to make his way out from garage to shut down these members, but Shock fighting Immel really puts Sangal in such a tough position now.
Surely not like that. Pass. Oh, that was a nice headshot from Pass onto Oscar. Still though, the B-bomb side is completely open and Pass needs to be careful, goes for the third. And this might as well just have saved his team. But Shock has armor, has an AK, and will go and collect the bomb. So at this point, Sangal, they shouldn't be giving 1v1s to Shock. And there's one player who has pushed in lobby. Is Shock gonna be aware of that? Is he gonna be ready? He might have the timing. Oh, and that's a free kill. Shock now onto the 1 versus 1. Who is smarter? Who has a bigger brain at this point? Shock going down towards that B side. And, well, he's gonna have the bomb plant granted to him as Pass just now making his way into main. He's gonna hear all of that, dropping into vents, and the 1 versus 1 is on. Kit is available for Pass, but Shock, he's not making any noise. He's just staying, holding his angle, and will Pass making noise after going out. But at this point, does he check for it? Does he check? Is he ready? Oh, Shock, he spotted him. Shock goes for the peek, and Sinners, they win the half by. This is a heartbreaking one. Pass, he did everything. He did everything, shutting down every single player, but in the end, Sinners, they managed to win it. And what around that is to win. On the back of that one, Logic, he's gonna get downgraded to a no. They will have only the scout, no AWP, no grenades whatsoever. And if they lose this one, they're reset.
Absolutely perfect. And with that, we're gonna have to see just how these team fares moving ahead is. For the most part, it's gonna be such a tough hold for this side. And more importantly, Sinners, as they go to their next buy, it's going to be AKs around the board, there's util to support it. Sangal, theirs is a bit more shaky. You know, we see Famos, as we see Scouts, it's not enough to try and hold, and with that, it's going to be a bit of a tough ask for Sinners, really, should they look to close out this map. Sangal, if they lose here as well, if they get reset, Sinners are going to be in the perfect position to move forward.
Exactly, and look at that from Neo. He's got himself in such an upfront position. At this point, they're just taking the slow approach. They know that the grenades on the other side aren't present, so they're just waiting, trying to refrag efficiently. And Immor, he's gonna find the first, but to what avail? Falling to Shock, 1 for 1, of course, always favoring the T's. As Sangal, they need to go for aggression, but Sinners, they're well aware. And I love the fact that they're still holding. They're just waiting for any aggression to come through, and it does come, but Pass, what is that? How do you get a double out of this one?
Beautiful stuff. And as Paz comes out on top, this is exactly what Sangal needs. Beast the key, he'll regress towards the lobby, he'll be able to pick up that bomb. But from behind, it's going to be Major to shut him down. All on Neofrag, 1 versus 4. Major finishes the job. And Sangal, they hit a 10th for now, snapping at the heels of Sinners for every step they take moving forward.
Have Pass and Immor switched up the counts for this one?
Potentially.
I think they switched the counts. Is this Pass playing? This is phenomenal. Even in the last round, when they were in 2 versus 4, the kill that he found outside, that his aim is so crisp right now. And the fact that he's able to... Sinners, the scary part is that they're ready for it. They're anticipating it. They know that some aggression should come through from Sangal because they have no weapons, no utility. Numbers are even. They need to go for aggression. They need to go for some kind of information. And he pushes in. He doesn't even anticipate the position of Oscar. Lands the headshot, gets the second through the wall. That's insane. And Sinners, they were aware. They knew that this was coming. And still they couldn't answer. That's crazy.
Without a doubt. And for the timing, we're going to have to see how these teams hold, how these players hold. As, well, for the most part, it's going to be Engine to try and do the odd bit of damage wherever possible. Sinners down to another awful buy of Deagles. The odd bit of utility here or there, but nothing to try and support them, as well they have to rely on this shaky buy to just get them through.
Well, Sinners, of course, having this kind of a lead later on, they could afford to go for the half buy. They're just going to be playing maximum damage, trying to take as many guns out of the hands of Sangal as possible, but we've seen them win these ones, and if they win a second one with pistols, with grenades, with armor, that's gonna be heartbreaking. Immer, he's all alone towards that A-bomb side. As I say that though, Pass, he has his support, and look at that Pass. He's just crazy at this point. There is no way that they take him down. Shock, good for 2, but only for that, which is kinda not ideal, but it is alright. It is alright. Yeah,
silver lining.
It is a silver lining for Sinners. Making Sangal rebuy 2 guns, it will still make them to have to be on a shaky buy later on if Sinners start winning now. So it is not too bad, but Pass, he's in the form of his life at this point. This is one hell of a performance, and this is the problem with players, just really good players stepping out of the scene, that people actually forget how good they are. But these are guys that have wrecked people on majors, and not only on minors, on qualifiers. These are guys that have played in the main stages on a major, and they have wrecked people there, and we can see that from Pass here.
Without a doubt, let's see how they're pushing ahead. It was going to be a very shaky turn for the time being as we wait to see how Sinners fare moving forward. As for now, it's going to be Neoprank to find this first kill onto Immor, but you need to bear in mind, both Oscar and Shock fairly low on HP, but it may not matter as BCK finds a kill towards the outside as well. These players from Sinners falling low on HP, but they're still doing damage as Oscar finds Logic Man. It falls down to Paz and Engine, the last 2 members of standing here. And oh no,
no
way
way.
To describe it. Paz just, he's an animal right now.
He just eats them alive. Surely he doesn't find a third here.
Well, Engine on the flank as well. This could absolutely be turned on its head.
1 versus 3. Engine. Still with 3 players to find there. Spot him, but the bomb needs to cross towards that A-bomb side. There's the smoke. And Engine is gonna allow the cross. The bomb will go down. And one Sangal player actually disconnected, being Immer, but Engine on the clutch. And he's gonna go for the save. Sinners, they're gonna make it 14 for Sangal. Well, having to rebuy into this one, they will be able to go for it. They might even be able to get the AWP, but it's gonna be a shaky one, speaking about utility nonetheless. And even if it's not a shaky one, it's gonna put them on reset potential.
Without a doubt. And, you know, for the time being, let's see what Sangal could do. But for Sinners, this is a perfect opportunity for them to just try and do the odd bit of damage here or there and, you know, try and pull ahead. But for Sangal, this, you know, their money, it's not looking good at all. If they lose this round, if they force this round and lose, Sinners are going to force up to make a 15 while simultaneously resetting Sangal in the process, and that could just be the dream come true for them.
It could indeed, and this has been one hell of a matchup. I'm just trying to assimilate how two-sided the veto is. Like, I believe that we could see all 3 maps and every single one is going to be like this one. Every single one is going to be like this one. But the difference is that Sangal, this was supposed to be their home turf. This was supposed to be actually the most one-sided map of all of 3 of them. Like Inferno being extremely close. Mirage being extremely close. This one, it was in favor of Sangal heavily. But so far, Sinners, they've been putting up one hell
and
of a
I'll tell you what, Sinners,
performance.
they've done a massive job to be able to come back and just upset anything that comes their way. Amazing stuff. Let's see how they fare pushing forward.
Of course, and ladies and gents, well, I think while we're at a technical timeout, I think is the time. Tell us who you support. If you support Sinners, spam that mask in the chat. If, of course, you're Sangal fans, let us see the Red Dragon. Tell us, who do you think is gonna win? Show us your support for your favorite team in the chat. And, well, let us actually see that we're 10,000. Let's see it in the chat.
We're at 10,000.
We
wow.
are at 10,000, yeah. We have,
tournament.
let me tell you what, we have the best audience here. We have the best audience
without
in
doubt.
the Shadow League. Like
What
me
I
and you,
found
we've
really
said so
Sangal.
much. We've said so much shit through this entire tournament. Like
Oh my
we've
God.
been speaking about superhero powers, about pizzas,
To be
about
honest,
oh
that was an intense conversation, though.
yeah, it was an intense conversation.
I know, as you've mentioned this as well, we've dropped below 10k, so.
Bro,
Oh.
they're just trolling me. I screenshotted it, so
Oh, right, it's
happy.
okay
Fair
then.
enough, fair enough.
While we are in this technical pause, I don't think we'll be in it for much longer. All right, we're not in this technical pause. Everything I was about to say just kind of null and void. We'll wait for the next technical timeout then. Just bear in mind, of course, for those of you who are watching, this isn't the final game. After this, the winner will be playing against Linkby Vikings in the
Yeah.
final of Season 1 of the Shadow League.
Yeah, it is gonna be a pretty intense one, but still, it is a pretty intense one here on Nuke as well. As Sinners, they're looking forward to do the upset and do maybe the unthinkable by winning against Sangal on their own map pick and probably taking us to a 2-0. Of course, we are yet to see a Sangal. They will have their last bite to try and fight with that, but it's gonna be anything but ideal. Scout in the hands of Vimmer. M4, Oaken, then there they go. Zetko leading the charge with a headshot engine. Good only for one as Neo is there to shut him down. And the retake is on, but Neo, Beasting, they're just completely shutting down Sango as they make it 15. And ladies and gents, until we go to Inferno, I believe that Sango won't have anything to say in the server.
This is even worse for Sangal. Not only do they get reset, but they also get reset as Sinners hit 15. The worst possible case scenario for this side, and right now it looks like we're going to see Sangal punished substantially. So they go down to Deagles here or there. There's the odd scout on him or to try and hold, but what good will it do? Sinners ready to just finish the map, close it out, and push ahead. But for now, it's 5-7's trying to get up close and personal just to try and do the odd bit of damage here or there, but I doubt it'll matter.
Sanko, now is the time that we need to see Immer stepping up with the scout. Now is the time that we need to see the magic from pass. They need to go huge here, but Sinners have been looking perfect. And look at that, Sinners, they're completely aware that on the other side there is a 2k buy. Like, this is the force buy that you get after losing the pistol round on the CT side without getting any kills. Sinners are completely aware of that, and they're so disciplined, just waiting to punish any kind of aggression, not wanting to take any risks. This just shows how seriously they're taking this one, and I absolutely love it. With time just going out, Sinners, they're gonna go towards that A split, and this might be the best goal that they can get, but there's the aggression. Major making noise, they can work with that. There's the flashbang as well, and that's so much info. Logic didn't spot the players outside, and this might lead them to a false conclusion actually, as Beasting, he's gonna take down Engine. This could be the beginning of the end, and Beasting onto a second. There's the third pass with the Desert Eagle though. Good for the first. What more can he find? Nothing.
Not enough. Not enough, and as it falls down to Logic Man, the last man left standing, he'll deploy the odd nade to try and force these players away from him. He'll drop a smoke kill, desperately tries to hold as they'll rotate back down towards Secret. But as the bomb it goes down to Sangal, you know, it's just been a stomp. Sinners, they show up, they upset on Nuke, and they show us why they are a top 30 team. They take map 1 against Sangal, cementing a victory and showing that they are a scary, scary team to face. Whether or not they'll keep that form for Inferno, we'll have to see.
Yeah, couldn't say it in a better way. We are yet to see, ladies and gentlemen. Let me remind you, this hasn't ended just yet. Sango, they could still fight. Map number 2 is going to be Inferno, the map pick of Sinners, but Sango, they might do an upset as well. Of course, if you're wondering why there's delay between what we're saying and the people moving on your screens, that's because this isn't us. This is our lovely Russian colleagues. Of course, Sonic Sandman.
I love that.
What?
Well, it's wearing an England shirt, so it could have been us.
It could have been. It could have been. Our names are Ted and Kremer. You can go follow us on Twitter if you will. You cannot do it, but nonetheless, we're going to be heading onto a short break. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, the Sinners and Sanko, they're putting up one hell of a fight so far. Of course, if you believe that Sanko could go for the comeback, well, spam that red dragon. If you think that Sinners are going to close it out in a 2-0, go for the mask. And we're yet to see. We're heading onto a quick break, and we'll be right back with map number 2 shortly. Stay tuned.
can run away and leave this world behind. Please just take me home to a castle in the sky. Castle in the sky. Castle in the sky. Won't you take me I can wait another minute. I can wait another second to be with you for an eternity. I feel like I am in a daydream. Every moment that I spend with you, with you. Won't you take me home and give me wings to fly? We can be alone in the castle in the sky. We can run away and leave this world behind. Please just take me home to a castle in the sky. Castle in the sky. Castle in the sky. Won't you take me Won't you take me home and give me wings to fly? We can be alone in the castle in the sky. We can run away and leave this world behind. Please just take me home to a castle in the sky. Castle in the sky.
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Merhaba kardeş, and ahoy to everybody in the chat. We are back in the Shadow League with what is about to be map number 2 of our second semi-final of the day between Sinners and Sangal. I'm your caster Ted, and joining me is a man whose voice could easily put you to sleep or make you want to climb a mountain. Kramer 3.
Now we'll have to see how they fare moving forward, as it's going to be a very close game, if I don't say so myself. This is a chance for Sangal to have a shot at redemption. They had a close game on Nuke, which really should have went Sangal's way. They showed a lot of tenacity to come back in the latter stages of this first game, but they weren't able to do so. Now we go to Inferno. This is really where it hits the fan, and tell you what, Ted, who you feeling is taking this map?
Ooh. Do you want me to break you through the the statistics, or are we gonna give both predictions at this point? First the stats, then the predictions, or the other way around? How do you want it?
Let's do stats and predictions.
Okay, so to make you through it, Sinners, they've played Inferno 24 times in the past 3 months in this lineup, and well, it's fair to say they've won almost 80%. They have a 79% win rate here. As well, on their last game on Inferno, they won against Code. Before that, they won against Pack. Their last loss here is against Godsend, which we pretty much know that are a pretty sick team. They lost 16-14. So when I look at their stats in their last 15 games on Inferno, they've lost 16-14 to Godsend and 16-6 to Lingby Vikings. Which leads me to actually Sinners having won their last 2 games against Sangal on Inferno, 16-7 and 16-11. On the other hand though, Sangal, they've played it a fair amount as well, not too much. 18 times, 78% win rate. Although they're on 2 consecutive wins as well. They've won against Project X, they won against Lingby. They lost against Endpoint. So it's pretty much the same, but there they come. Like, the difference is the direct games between those 2 teams. This is the difference. This is the only difference. Despite of that, both of them have been crushing on Inferno, with just losing maybe to the best teams that they're playing on it. But the direct games, Sinners, they should have the upper hand. So, knowing that, what's your prediction now?
Obviously, Sinners. It's just going to be Sinners' map. Well, I'm looking at the stats as well. The last time Sinners lost on Inferno, it was a godsend. The new stars representing the lineup. But even then, it was only by, it was only 16-14.
Yeah.
They're an incredible side, and I fully expect them to really show us that now on Inferno. I think Sangal, while they can come back, well, it's possible to, I just don't know if it will be.
Well, something to look forward to Inferno, it really depends for me who starts on what side. Because as you know, we have knife rounds for every single map, and I believe that what we saw on the CT side on Nuke from Sinners could come to play as well here on Inferno. But it really depends if they start on the CT or the T side, because you have a lot of teams just having like 51% win rate on the T, 49 on the CT, and so on and so on. Actually, here for Sinners, we have a bigger difference. We have Sinners winning 57% of their T sides, which is a bit more than half. Well, they actually have a better T side, but the thing is that on Nuke they had a better T side as well. That helped them out to close the game. If they start on the CT here and they manage to win it, they start off well. We know they're a pretty momentum-based team as well, as Lingby Vikings, for example. If Sinners start well and they win the first half, I could really see how they can close this one out.
We'll have to see how they fare. Push on ahead, and for now, it's going to be a very tough hold for the time being. And well, going into this pistol round, Ted, where's this pistol round? Who do you think is going to come out on top? Like, who do you... I've said Sinners,
Bro,
What do you
let
think
me
the score's
find
gonna
the coin and just toss it, and I'll tell you.
Okay.
Okay.
What do you think the score's
Okay.
gonna be?
Heads or tails? What is heads? What is tails?
Tails never fails.
Okay,
So tails sinners, head sang.
it's heads. So
Heads.
Sango.
Sangal, alright.
Yeah.
You think Sangal, I think sinners. Do you want to give a scoreline to it?
No, I'm speaking about the pistol round.
Oh, right. A scoreline to the actual map. Who's just gonna come out on
Oh.
top?
16-9 for Sinners. As well, Shook, he's gonna shut down engine as they will get the bomb down, but there's the boost. It might actually deny it. Goes for the damage hammer, takes down the first, not quite a second. As he falls, there's the first towards ruins. Logic to shut down Zedko. Now the 2 versus 3, and Logic, he continues to push, and Logic, he's gonna find all 3, and the pistol will go in favor of the CTs. Sango onto their dream start here on Inferno. And by the way, the coin guessed it right. They won the pistol.
Credit due to the coin. The coin never fails. So
Yeah.
with that Sangal, they get Inferno underway. Of course, starting on that CT side does give them a bit of an inherent advantage. By the pistol, even more so. As they look to go 3-0 up, just find the conversion against Sinners.
Of course, the T's on the back of the bomb plant, they will decide to go for the force buy. We've seen a lot of teams actually, after planting the bomb, unless they kill all 4 players from the CT side, or all 5 eventually, they actually go for the force then. And they eco if they don't get 4 kills. Which does make it a bit clear what Sinners' intentions are coming into this map. They show us that they don't actually care. They feel confident, and they really think that they're better here. Which is, I love that. I love that from Sinners. It is quite a statement.
That's the only fair moving on forward. And once again, it's going to be a tough game either way. And yeah, Sinners with top mid control, they try to just clear out this avenue of attack wherever possible. Moto smoke goes down. That allows on control to go out. Major, he's going to peek into them. He spots out these members, but Beastie comes out on top. The follow-up is that they're going to make their way down towards Moto to try and show some presence towards CT to try and catch out these members. Immortal misses a lot of bullets there, and it shows the Sinners the game's on. The game's afoot, and as they start descending towards this site, Immortal forced on away. There's like a bit of early damage. He's forced on back. He's caught out by Neo Frag. It's all on Logic Man to try and hold this site. And well, Sinners, they haven't checked him.
Oh, but look at that from Logic. This might be huge. He needs to find more than one. Denies the plant. 25 seconds. Logic goes for the fight. But Beastic is there to shut him down. And just like that, Sinners, they're in the man advantage. But still, the bomb is dropped. They need to retrieve it and get it down. And Engine, he's so close. Eventually, Oscar, he's going to take his head off the shoulders. With the scout going for the second pass, though. He has been dangerous on the previous one, but is he aware that there's a player behind him towards Banana? I don't think he is. I don't think he's even considering it. And this might lead to detrimental, but as I say that, he goes back to take him down. That is quite the awareness from pass. That is sick. Now 2 more to find. Does he have a kid dropped on side though? Because he doesn't have one in himself as time is ticking low. There's attack from the scout, and this should cement it. Sinners, they're gonna win the force, but nonetheless, that is some pretty decent damage from Pass. What is that? This guy's phenomenal.
That is confidence building if ever I've seen it. He'll survive with the AUG as well, and as he takes it into the next round, it's something Sinners need to fear. That being said, though, Sinners, a perfect round from them to at least get the bomb plant to recover the situation. Perfect from Paz, nonetheless, to just nullify anyone who dare come their way.
I would just check something real quick. You know what I typed in Google right now?
What's that?
As I'm gonna be taking a break like 2 days from casting.
Yep.
I have a gap in mind. I just typed past CS:GO settings in Google. All right. Let me copy that. Okay. Let's continue. We're alright. We're alright. I'll be playing some CS these days. Yeah, I'll be playing some. Sinners, they find the opening nonetheless. That's the force buy from Sango as they're trying to give Sinners a taste of their own medicine. Fast to do some pretty nice damage through the smoke, but in the meantime, he gets heavily tagged as well. And Sango, they need to go for a combo stack in this situation. They know it, but The call might not be the best in this scenario. As I say that though, Sinners, they're still second guessing themselves.
Without a doubt, for now we'll see all these players make their way forward to try and catch out the odd member wherever possible. Sinners, they'll deploy these smokes to try and catch out these players, and as flashes go out, it's the odd peek here or there, and as smokes go down. Let's see how Sinners fare as Util goes out, Molly's forced him out of position as Immel tries to cower towards many bits. Shock finds one pull-up, kills either way. Shock lines up all three. Beautiful stuff by him now. So it falls down to Engine, the last man standing in a 1 versus 5. I think his only hope right now is to back away, maybe save whatever gun he can find, and hope that maybe Sinners don't hunt him down.
And you know what? That is something that we spoke about yesterday when we were watching Sinners. Shock, he's actually having quite a strong period, isn't he? On the entries. He's been clinical, especially on Inferno. I'm a bit worried about Sangal because when you have like Sangal, they're a really good Inferno team. Don't misunderstand me. They know how to defend it, but Shock, his entries and the flashes that he has from his teammates, they're just sick. And yesterday he did that as well. Like even the spacing, even if he doesn't necessarily get the first, even if he's not necessarily the first guy to lead the charge, although he was in this scenario, the spacing between him and his teammates is so good that if he goes down, there's just no way that this comes unpunished. And well, Sangal, they're going to be forced to the eco, as Sinners are looking forward to build up to number 3 here.
We'll have to see how they fare moving ahead in what's going to be a very tough hold for the time being. Sangal and eco. Let's do the odd bit of damage here or there, but that's all they can hope for, as Neofrag shuts down Major. Falls down to us 4 members left standing for Sangal. Again, just do damage wherever they can, but even then, they're going to be in a tough old position.
Well, if I... Wait, I need to see Shock's settings as well.
You just see that in the chat as well.
Yeah.
Right, you Google them.
Well, why not? I'm interested, but it... Oh yeah, I found it.
Oh yeah? Really good?
What's his res though? Everyone's playing 4x3, 2080 by 69, by 960 these days.
This is the best res.
Probably. I played some 16 by 10 by the way, but I switched to 4x3 like 1 day ago, I think.
4x. So after I tell you 4x3 superior, you switch.
No, I switched yesterday. But
Right. So now it's going to be early banana control. Neofrag shuts him down. Engine gets the next set of the matter. The saved AUG, he's only got 1 HP. Of course, he isn't going to do much with it. And so it's the Immortal to try and hold for the time being. As he catches out these members, should be a swift little shutdown. As with that, it falls down to just Engine to save. 1 HP left to his name. For Sinners, this will be a third and in a comfortable respect as well. And in that regard, I suspect Sangal to go to their next buy now will attempt to shut down that Czech aggression.
they will, of course, that was just the eco, so for Engine, being able to save the Oak is pretty much perfect. He has armor as well. It will make their lives a bit more easier, but as I say that, Engine, he's gonna fall to the Mag 10 in Z kill. And just like that, Sinners, they're gonna be moving into the first buy round as well as Sangal, but AWP won't be available for Logic as he doesn't go for the glass cannon. He was able to go for it, but I respect that. He wants that extra bit of utility. We know that, for example, we could give Dust 2 as an example, let's say. Inferno, it's a pretty utility heavy orientated map. Like, if you don't have grenades, it's gonna be hard. You're gonna have a hard time, especially when you have a team like Sinners who's so keen on fighting for banana, fighting for second middle, for apartments. It's pretty much impossible to contest it if you don't have the grenades.
Without a doubt, let's see how they fare moving forward. It's going to be a bit of a tough showing. And for now, as these players get ready for an early setup, it's going to be Zed going to find 1 Engine trade or 2 more, though, shutting down the players they push up from short. He tries to back away, though, towards Graveyard. He'll look to make it 3, but BC gets the next set of the matter. Immor carrying back sight. Will he be spotted out? Will he be caught out? No, he won't, actually. And looks like he'll be ready to punish Sinners right now. Good for 1 trade there by Neofrag, though, and as it goes 2 on 2. Let's see how these players fare.
Bump will go down and the retake is on 1 player coming in late from apartments. Logic trying to bait out some attention, but they should be aware. They should be aware of the possibility, and Major, there's the flash that he needs to use and jump out of apps. Does it? No. Caught between both of them, and Oscar missing the initial shot that might cost him. There then goes the push, and Major gonna take him down. The round is gonna go in favor of Sangal. They make the retake work as they win number 2. Of course, for Sinners, this isn't the end of the world. They still have a lot of money to work with, and it's pretty much decent damage done to the side of Sangal, which will put them on potential reset.
Without a doubt, and with that, obviously how they felt moving ahead, but the time being, beautiful openings for the time being, and I don't think there's going to be much else of a response from Sinners there, as their economy, granted they could scrape a buy at that, but they aren't out the woods just yet, and as Sangal looks to claw back a second, looks like we're going to see a very, very swift game.
We are. It is going to be a close one. It is for sure going to be a close one, as Sinners, once again, I absolutely love, by the way, the fact that Sinners are really aggressive and keen on taking banana control. Even when there's a lot of YouTube being thrown from Sangal, Sinners still commit to it. They're still trying to find out these gaps in the Molotovs to stay in, just to make sure that there's no Sangal players that are getting up aggressive. And this gives you so much map control. In the same time, though, they're taking apartments. A lot of times we see teams staying down T-ramp, just letting the CTs have banana, going for the late take, first prioritizing compartments, middle control, but Sinners, they're taking both of these parts of the map in the same time, and this gives them a lot of possibilities, because now Sangal don't have the required information to over-rotate towards that B side, and, well, Major, he's all alone, or rather Immer, with the AK.
Down, and as Sinners may have found the avenue of exploitation to try and shut down Sangal. As we see Util flying, really too substantial. As Immer brings out a few shots, double shot down Beastie Kid away for flashes way through the smoke, but look at the fake by Sinners, it's absolutely perfect. The entire Sangal side rotates. Paz the only one who's able to get back on site just in the nick of time as the motor smoke goes down. But as the Soul Man tries to defend, what good can he do here? Good for 1, good for 2, good for 3 with the assistance of Major. And that is just what Sangal needs.
Oscar now in the 1 versus 4, good for the first, but there's the flank from Logic, and Oscar, there is no way. That was a pass. I don't know if why people are searching for the settings of simple. You just need passive settings. Look at that guy. Look at him go.
He's done really, really well so far, and you know he's not got loads of frags. The point is the quality of frags.
Yeah, exactly. They're impactful, and on Nuke he had a lot of them, and they were impactful as well. So you get the best of both worlds. Of course, Sinners, they will move on to a half buy, which is all right. A bit of a dink now onto Logic, which is of course the correct thing to do, to go for. You realize that if you get yourself just forcing up and continuing to lose by rounds, well, you're gonna have some troubles. They want the AWP in the hands of Oscar, they want the full AKs, the full U2 to be able to contest their favorite banana control and of course apartments.
For now, we'll have to see how they fare pulling on ahead and what's going to be just a bit of an eco for Sinners, and it's Sangal's chance to just farm some economy as these players push straight into them. As for now, Sinners, they don't make their way out forward. This was in hand, the odd bit of util here or there, but that might be it.
They're still taking their time, and rounds like that are actually really dangerous because they're gonna go for the late explosion towards banana. And when you have the pistols, they're just gonna be running up forward. There's the CT smoke from T-spawn, there's the flashes, and there they go. Now, Sangal, they go for the fight. Immer good for the first, needs some more, goes for the second, and third. That's absolutely perfect, but look at that. Shock, he's able to take down Major, and at least this could allow him a bomb plant. As Oscar, he's actually pushed to CT. He's in the smoke, and oh, this might give him a free kill. And indeed, it will give him a free kill any moment now. As pass, he's gonna take down Shock, but Oscar, just how much damage can he do? Okay, this guy's a god. Do you know what? Okay, players have already pushed on site. It is normal to check that. Okay, they tell him there is a chance, but I thought that they were still towards Ruin 17 banana. They haven't cleared site, and he's just casually checking that. I was like, there's no way.
Fair play to Paz.
Yeah, fair play.
He's a man on a mission. This is the
Yeah.
thing. He's not got an outstanding amount of kills. It's just the impacts of them.
Yeah. Just the way
Every
that he's
single
getting
kill
them.
is
They're
round winning.
intelligent.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great stuff.
And
by
there
him,
was a
and,
song
well,
like that. There was a song like that when you say that he's on a mission. I think it was the one that they used about AJ's fight against Andy Ruiz Jr. The first one. Like, I'm on a mission. I don't need recognition, something like that. That's Pass right now. He's on a mission.
right. Without. Let's see.
That was a
how
really
it's,
nice song. Don't you know it?
No.
It's a sick one. I'll send it to you. It's really nice.
Okay. That's the thing. My music taste doesn't really.
No,
fit the 21st century. Yeah.
Bro. I don't like songs like this typically, but when you see just AJ going out like 100 kilos of muscles on that song, it does sound good. Believe me.
That's true. I wish I was 100 kilos of muscles.
Yeah,
as
instead
fun.
you're just 100.
Yeah. Right. All right. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. That's
I'm sorry.
that's just. Straight for the jugular, man. But now Logic Man is able to find two. Imber on the other side of the map able to find another. And with that, we are going to see this double upstairs that really bear fruition for Sangalers. Sinners haven't really got a way to respond to it. I would recommend for Oscar at least to go save, and Sinners may do just that. Zedko teases a peek towards mid, but doesn't catch out anything just yet.
Sangal, they're starting to look pretty good on the CT side, and it's not the fact that they're winning rounds, it's the way they do it. They're so dominant. They're forcing Sinners to go for the save. Oscar and Zedko gonna save up the AWP and the AK, and well, they're starting to look pretty good. And the worrying part about for Sinners is that actually both these teams are better on the T side on Inferno. Both of them having around 58-59% win rate on the T side and a lesser one on the CT. So, well, I believe that at this point, Sinners, they need to start doing damage at least. Even if they lose rounds, they need to do damage. That will allow them to reset the economy of Sango and maybe try and capitalize on that. Maybe reset them, but, well, at this point, it doesn't look highly probable. Sango, they have the double, they have the full nades, and they've just built up a wall.
Now Imber, another quick early kill as the aircraft falls, and Zedko can trade, but it looks like Sangal have found their rhythm now. We'll wait to see how these players fare as it's a few shots out either way. Again, 4-on-4 the score, or 4-on-4 the man count, 4-on-3 now as Logic Man shuts down Beastie. He'll swing wide, able to find another as well as Zedko falls. He's on for even another. As Sinners continue the spread towards top mid. Engine, it's his turn to aggress. Logic Man good for one more. Shock to fall to Engine, and Sinners, they seem to fit a brick wall here, as you mentioned. Sangal leads 6-3, and with that, Logic Man, he springs to life.
He does, and this is the thing that Oscar needs to try and do, but Logic, you know, he's one of the most inconsistent opers that I know. Like, he's extremely good, but he's as inconsistent as good he is. The worrying part about Sinners is that you currently, like, Immer is quiet. Immer has been quiet so far. Yes, he's hitting shots with Yo, but let's say that for the sake of the series, he's been quiet. But still, you have Pass, who's just performing out of his mind. And if Logic wakes up on the AWP and they have the double open Immer as well, well, this might be a bit of a mission impossible for the side of Sinners, as they're going to be moving onto yet another buy round. But at this point, do you know what I want to see from them? I want to see a full commitment, because so far they've been going for the default every single time, getting banana control, getting middle, second middle, and as in the moment that Sango got the double op, they just started picking them apart. They started denying every single bit of control, or they granted, but for one kill. They're like, okay, we're gonna let you have banana, but we're gonna take one of you. So every time they take a part of the map, they lose a member, and this is not something that they can afford to continue doing.
Exactly, and what scares me as well is that Sinners, they haven't really shown that a way for them to try to adjust. Every time we've seen them push up or try and push around, for the most part, it's only just trying to push on forward, and they just keep the default that have been tried since, you know, round 3. And now that Sangal have found a way to stop it, they're still fighting. They're not changing their presence, and they're being punished for it.
Indeed, and of course, let's see how they continue here. Sinners yet again on the default, and Neo, he continues to be aggressive. Well, this is a way. You could either wait for them to use their firepower and then re-aggress, or you could try and fight fire with fire. Of course, it really depends what will work in this scenario, but Sinners, they look like they're gonna commit towards that A execute at this point.
Now we see a bit of a lull, and I do like how this team have taken a moment to just they take a moment to wait. And for Sinners, that's exactly what they need to do. Just try and drain some Sangal utility, then take just straight, well, try and flash these AWPers away from their initial positions. As we're now having established on control, the moto smokes go down, the set piece goes out, flashes to follow, and now for Sinners, as they bolt their way on forward, trying to get onto this site, as if they're able to do so. As just one. I think it's like extend the matter. Engine good for a second. On, not quite a third, but as the Sinners have been mopped up yet again.
They're just getting destroyed every single time. And we saw, again, Sinners taking their time has allowed Sangal to clear out Banana and over-rotate this extra player. Now, Major, he's gonna fall. Still, this is a doable one. But with only 25 seconds on the clock, they need to wait until Sangal sends the rotation. Once the rotations half went towards Banana, they can try and play. But do they go for the save, actually? I believe they do. This is gonna be another save from Sinners, and just how many like these can you afford on the T side?
Counter-terrorists win.
But now it's going to be a rough showing for this side. As let's see if they're able to shut down some of these members. And for Sangal, the fact that they're 7-3 in the lead, it makes me think we might see a repeat of what we saw on Nuke, which was Sinners to just dominate for the entire first half, the start of the second. But it's once we get to that kind of second, third round of the second half, Sinners then to erupt and to try and get a couple rounds back against Sangal. That's why the game was so close, but if right now Sangal can really keep Sinners so far down that this opportunity to pull back isn't even there, then it looks like we have a game 3 in our hands.
We could. Of course, Sinners, they still have something to say in that matter. We said they won the last 2 games here on Inferno against Sangal, so they might be feeling a bit confident, but again, it really depends who prepared better for the certain map. And at this point, Sangal, they look a bit better here on Inferno. As Sinners playing the slow default, trying to bait out some utility from the city side. Of course, this is only the half buy, so they shouldn't be too keen on baiting out utility. They won't have any on their own as well. And Neo, he's gonna find a kill through the smoke towards Banana. This might be huge. Immer, he's all alone, and there's 5 players on the other side. Unless he gets like a crazy collateral, he should be going down. Oh, he doesn't see the player on the boost. This has collapsed. Neo taking the head of Immer. Now the 3 versus 5 engine needs to go huge here. But he's completely flashed out, spammed through the smoke. And then, at this point, Sangal, they need to go for the save. But Neo, he's just running through the smoke in CT, taking down Logic. And what has happened?
It is just unbelievable for these teams, and for the most part, what good will it do for these teams? And we'll have to see just what Sinners can, fare. Having found this round, this is their chance to really come back. It's a chance to try and pull ahead, and, well, maybe not pull ahead, but just pull it back. And a 4th means that they at least have a chance in this game. If they can make it 5, they can make it 6, then they're really in the runnings to actually come back. It just really falls down to if they can find this next round, if they can find the conversion, which they're going to be in desperate need of.
The problem for Sinners is that it's going to be extremely hard to reset the economy of Sangal, considering that actually the Turkish side won so many rounds, but in a dominant fashion. All these rounds that Sinners were going for the save in 2 versus 4, 2 versus 5, now this is backfiring. Because Sangal have a lot of money, they can go for the reinvestment for the full one as well, and they're not going to go for the double up. Of course, realizing that if they go for it, they're gonna put themselves in a pretty tough scenario with the money. Instead, just a single onto Major, as he's gonna have a spawn, and he's probably gonna go for a peek towards Banana.
Without a doubt. And now let's see how he fares moving forward as, well, BCK shuts down Immel, trying to get a bit too aggressive. He takes a substantial amount of damage as he does so, though. He's trying to do damage wherever possible, as for now it goes 4 on 5. These players attempt to hold, but for the most part, enter a bit of a lull.
Logic Man picking up the AWP as Sinners just slowing down, playing the default as perfectly as they can. And this is something that Sango were able to deny from Sinners for the past rounds. And this is exactly taking the map control in the beginning and getting the opening kill. Because when you just have Banana and Apartments, it doesn't work so much. Yes, it does, because you can decide where to go like in any time, but when you're with a man up, it is that when you hold, you expect some aggression to come through from the CTs because they have nothing to work with. And this is exactly that. Logic is fallen into the trap. Now B-side is completely open, and this should be even the safe call. This should be the safe call from Sango, because they have no money to work with if they lose every single player. Engine, he's just gonna confirm it now.
Without a doubt, and now as these players get ready to fight, there's almost a moment with Sangal just looking to save, and Sinners, as they really pull ahead now, it seems they have found a bit of a groove that works for them, that being going to negate this Banana control, and then looking to explode out towards Banana afterwards with a late execution. And that's just been exactly what's worked for them. For the time being, there's not much of a response from Sangal, and frankly, how can you expect there to be? There's only been the last couple of rounds in which they've done it, and Sinners, now that they've found a couple of rounds in to get the groove, I want to see Sangal adjust from here on outwards. I want to see them try and go a bit more passive on Banana, maybe late nades down there just to keep Sinners at bay. Maybe another retake towards Banana. But until we do, Sangal are really going to be in a position where they could be exploited.
Yeah, they are. Because they're really aggressive, and Sinners, they got used to that aggression. They're trying to fight the fire with fire, and so far it has been working. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to apologize. We don't actually control what you're seeing on your screens. We're basically being given a clean feed, so we have no idea who we're gonna watch. We don't control the spectating. We don't control anything. We just see what you see and we talk over it. Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is how it works. And, well, for now, let's just have to see how these players fare moving forward. Always go down either way. Some nades as well, just to keep these players at bay. It's nothing too substantial for the time being, though.
And Mystic, he's gonna go for the double entry towards B. This is just a disaster. Engine taking him down, but does that matter at this point? It's again a man advantage, and Logic, he will go and aggress with the AWP. And they are ready. They're holding for this. Still, though, not over aggressing now is the right choice from Sinners. They need to wait, they need to make sure that they use their grenades to their max extent. And now, well, what's important is just spacing. They need to refract the AWP. They're gonna lose the initial duel, but there is no refract coming in. And Logic, he's gonna be allowed a second peek, even a third. And this has been one hell of a play from Logic. What is that? Just 180, 180, 180, one after the other. Going for the kills. Logic, this is insane.
What a round.
Yeah, it is, but we saw just Sinners not being able to refract efficiently does give that chance to Logic to go for something like that.
Without a doubt, and for now, let's see what the response is. For the most part, these teams are going to be in a awkward position, especially Sinners now, who they can buy, but they lose this one, they're going to have, well, maybe it's the final round, they're going to have a bit of a shaky buy, that being Oscar might not be able to get another raw. Granted, he could have one dropped, but that would mean no utility, or maybe a player with a shoddy setup. Nonetheless, though, Sangal back away. It's going to be Immortal to just dodge a nade momentarily, though. He waits to see who comes towards him.
This time a slower approach from both teams, and I like that. I kind of like that from Sangal. I think it was about time for them to go a bit more defensive, especially considering their money is maybe in the worst state that it has been for this entire half, so they need to play it a bit more cautiously, a bit more carefully. But look at that, Sinners. If they jump out of the smoke with 2 flashes, this might be just perfect. And that's exactly what's gonna happen. They're fully blind, but Amor goes for a huge double from the boost. Now they're gonna re-aggress, going in major. Good for one, but that might be just more than enough. As now the 2 versus 4 is on. Pump will go down, which will allow Sinners to reinvest into the next one, but still, just how much can they do? And there's your answer. Nothing. Sango winning number 9. And I think you might be right. We might have exactly the same score after the first half that we had on Nuke. Or did we have?
Yeah,
What we had? Was it 10-5 or 11-4?
it was left 4.
Oh, okay. We could have a close one too.
Without a doubt, and have to see how they fare moving forward, and what's going to be a bit of a tough showing.
That's
No.
just the fact though that Sangal are winning these rounds only on the back of individual brilliance. This is what's scaring me, because can you really rely on that to win you a map or a series? Yes, it could win potentially a couple of rounds, which could lead to a map win, alright, but can you win an entire series just based on individual brilliance from some players?
Exactly, and you know, it's that kind of age-old question of will it work, you know? And for now, as Logic matchups down Zedco, we see nades go down either way, players set up looking to just trade one another. There's nothing substantial just yet, but there's definitely reason to fear. As Oscar responds, and in a 4-on-3, they make their way towards the site, trying to catch out members wherever possible. Shock not able to catch out the player in the smoke. Those major fires Neo frag. The push comes through. Shock, his position's perfect, but he just hasn't been able to make it work. Flash is forced away. Oscar and Shock find the one. Shock fires the second. It's all on Logic Man. 1 versus 2. What good will this do? He's heard as he's dropped down in towards Bit. Shock looks to flash his way on forward. That he does. Sinners make it 6 as they attempt to pull on ahead.
And that's a 2 versus 4. That's a 2 versus 4 that they re-aggress on. Sangal, they just completely want to clear out Sinners, but the thing is that Sinners, they weren't even thinking about getting the bomb down. The only thing that they were thinking about was getting kills. And this is what won them the round, essentially. After the end of this first half, I think it's pretty much open to go both sides. I was impressed by the way that Sangal countered the default from Sinners in the beginning, although Sinners managed to adapt and just not even change the way that they're approaching the round, but changed the entire default. Like, their approach to the default, they didn't go out of it. And in the end, it does win them 6 rounds, but look at that play from Logic. This is just, whew, it's insane.
No doubt. Let's see how they fare, and let's see what can be done for these players. Frankly, Sinners look like they're going to be in a bit of, well, I would say a bit of trouble. If they can find a pistol round, they might have a chance, but I'm going to throw it to you, Ted. Do you reckon that this is going to be a Sangal-based map, or is this going to be Sinners is 2-0?
You know, on paper, it should be Sangal. On paper, it should be Sangal, and the only reason is that I'm just totally based on statistics right now. Both teams are stronger on the T side. Right, so if you look at that, Sangal should win it. Although, Sinners still have... Excuse me, I'm just speaking, watching, and then I see someone going, oh. Alright.
You want to...
So I believe that on paper Sangal should have this one, but if Sinners manage to win the pistol and the force up, I'm going on their train. I'm going on their side. If they start off well.
Okay. Well, let's see how they fare. Let's just see how they fare for the most part. As Oscar ready on the close angle, they're bringing a few shots over to cut down pass. We'll try and get away in time, though. This is easier work for him on Nuke as well, actually. As this time, he finds one, he backs away, able to reload, and Zedco's there to respond onto Major. So it goes 2-man advantage now for Sinners. Sangal make their way back around towards Zaps, ready for a late execution with only one player boasting utility.
The 4 versus, or rather the 5 versus 3 for the side of Sinners. Sangal, they're so heavy on YouTube, but that might just backfire massively considering Oscar has the CC and that could do a lot of damage to non-armored players, and this utility isn't been utilized in the best way possible so far. Engine though, good for the first. Are they gonna check for Oscar? They are. Beastie good for 1 through the smoke, and the 3 versus 2 retake is on. No defuse kit available for the side of Sinners, which means that these smokes that Sangal deploy now could win a lot of time. Let's see. The correct way to play this one is all 3 players from the same place. Either you go 3 short or you go 3 long. There's a smoke to obscure vision from Pit, and now they're gonna be free to have the fight with the side player, take him down, then concentrate towards Pit. Just pretty much textbook retake from the side of Sinners. Perfectly played, perfectly utilized utility, and well, I could say with my hand on my heart, it is a deserved pistol round win.
Without a doubt, and with that, it's going to be a very, very nice position for Sinners to be in for the most part. As Sangal, they lead 9-7. It's going to be Sinners to, well, try and find this. If they can find this conversion now, they can find a follow-up eco. Goes 9-9. Sinners on the CT side, their favored side. They're going to be in a perfect position to try and pull ahead right now.
They are. Sango, though, managing to get the bomb down will actually allow them to have a pretty nice half buy with the pistols, try and do some damage, and still be competitive in the first buy round. So, for Sango, they are going to be allowed to do a lot of damage. It's up to them to see if they're going to capitalize on that, as clearing out apartments is pretty much your go-to when you have the tech nice. Now they're just going to storm in towards that A-bomb site on the back of the grenades. Pass, good for the first. Now Oscar, he needs to go huge towards the side, has the UMP to work with. Beastic there to support, and there's the kills going all in the way of Sinners.
You and well, Major, the last man left standing in a 1 versus 2. Yep, the first little 2k there, great damage, and that damage means that Sinners don't really get to play bonus, but as he runs, straight to Neo frag, that'll finish with an 8th for Sinners. They find the conversion, but maybe not as comfortably as they'd have wanted.
Yeah, and this is the moment when you're like, oh, that's why Sango didn't invest everything. Because they still have a pretty decent buy, and it's all on the back of that bomb plant. They still have a pretty decent half buy. They do a lot of damage, and now they have the 5 AKs in the armor and the grenades. So it's pretty much this buy round is pretty much better for Sango. If Sinners manage to win it though, it's gonna be a huge one. Because they have so many SMGs, they have the FAMAS, and that early banana presence might actually tell us what's gonna happen, as that's gonna be a pretty nice HE. I have no idea how that didn't do more damage, actually.
So actually considering the second one as well. Not that it matters, frag he'll tap down him all perfectly, but no matter. It's gonna be Sinners to go a man up, and as Sangal make their way back around towards the top mid. Let's see if they can catch out any of these members who dare come their way.
Flash in the molly for Zed to clear out long, knowing that there's nothing happening towards that part of the map. Now he'll go closer to his teammate, and well, this crossfire from pit and from side should be everything. Now Shock, he doesn't have the best weapon to be in pit with, but still he could do some pretty decent damage. Goes under balcony, a much better position considering he only has the MP9. But Sango, they're second guessing themselves, and they might actually go back towards that B side, but by the looks of it, it could as well just be the fake.
Well, let's see how they fare. Push you on ahead. It's Major and BC to exchange blows, and as Sangal, they go 2 men down. They try to come back up towards top mid, but let's see if they can catch out any of these members for the time being. Trying to damage one another. Able to do so. BC good for one, Neo good for another, and that just wipes this whole it wipes the whole team. Sinners, they tie things up 9-9 as they push themselves on ahead.
That is just a complete another shutdown. Actually, the fake working out wonders, but they didn't know that this player was alone towards B. And Sinners reading this perfectly. Sango, I think had they waited maybe 2 seconds more before they peeked towards A, the rotations might have went through, but Sango going so fast towards that A side and losing those initial drills, it just left the player and the guy with the bomb out of position, no idea where to go, no idea what to do. And just like that, they're reset to a half buy with the pistols and the grenades.
Without doubt, for the time being. Sangal, they're a lot more passive now as they try to hold for the time being. It's a bit of a lull. Shots go either way. Sangal, they're under their beat, nothing too substantial.
At this point, they're just gonna go for the late banana take. It's something that we've seen by a lot of teams, just showing some presence towards middle, trying to delay the rotations, waiting for the initial smoke, and now they're just gonna jump through. There's the CT smoke, there's the flashes, they're gonna try and storm in and get the bomb down. Now, does that bait work? Well, it works out wonders. Beastie good for 2, still 1 player towards sandbags. Neo good for the first, good for the second. Is he gonna go for the third as well? Well, indeed he will. Sinners the complete denial, and they do it with only one man going down, which is perfect for their economy, perfect for the build-up. And Sangal, they had a pretty decent idea. I love that one. The thing is that Sinners, they decided to fight for it, and Sangal weren't necessarily ready for it, because especially on the CT side, in a round like that, you just expect the CTs, once they see the Tech 9s running towards them, to fall back towards side and try and delay it. And this is exactly what Sangal want. They want to catch them off positions, but, well, Sinners, they were more than happy to take the fights as they make it 10, and we move to yet another buy round.
As they pull on ahead, they're going to be in a lot of trouble to try and take down these members as they're out. See if they can catch out anyone, as they need to go out either way. It's like too substantial for the time being.
Watching though on the AWP, wandering his way towards the middle, searching for an opening, but Sinners, so far they're doing a pretty decent job, but exactly what Sangal weren't doing when they were on the CT side, and that is just being passive, playing from the back of the sides, just on off angles that they won't be necessarily predicted. And, well, Zetko, he's good for the first Beastic, playing the off angle as well. This is the point where they just fall back. This is the point where they just go defensive, play from the sides. That's exactly what they're gonna do. Refrag denied, and Sangal in a 3 versus 5 left to just scratch their heads and wonder what happened here.
Absolutely, and with only a couple seconds left, it's going to be Paz to find Shock to kick things off. And you know, even though they're 2 men down, they still have a 1-man advantage now, having found that initial player. Let's see if they can respond in any way, shape, or form. As the response, of course, does come from these members. 25 seconds left, and Sinners, they're ready, they're in pit. Zedko, the man to try and stop this push as they come straight into him. He's ready to ring out a few shots as the molly lands at his feet. They'll turn around and ring out a few shots as Zedko and Neo both find these early kills. It's all down to Engine, last man left standing. He can finish 1, he can finish 2, but he's out of time whether he likes it or not. And, well, as he tries to put in that plant, it'll be for money, if anything. And he's swamped down. He's pushed down by the AWPer, surprisingly. Neofrag falls, but it won't matter. Sinners make it 11, and Engine, good to do damage, but is damage really enough?
And this player in pit, I think they failed the pit molly like 2 times, so he didn't even have to give up his position by throwing the smoke. He was just staying there. They failed the molly twice. And, well, the reason that Sinners won this round, basically, was because of the pit player. He was alive there for such a long time, and even if he doesn't kill them, even if he doesn't even peek, he's still a threat. Because they need to think about if he's gonna go for it. And Oscar, he wants to shut down this buy round from Sangal as fast as possible. Going for the early peek towards middle, something that he wasn't necessarily doing in the previous round, so they weren't ready for it. Now misses the initial shot, but still, to what avail is that? Sangal again with a man disadvantage. Every single time it feels like they're playing with a man disadvantage from the start.
Without a doubt, and you know, for now it's going to be BCK able to find Major again. The banana control that bears fruition as it shuts him down, and with that, what good can these members try and do? As you see a few players try and hold for the time being. It's aggression as Paz. He'll find BCK. That's great, but so what's avail? You know, there's Neofrag ready for him. Mollies go down, ready to shut anyone who dare come his way. As Shock will do just that as well. Flashes go out either way. It's a swing down onto Bananas. Logic Man comes out on top. And now Oscar bullets to do a substantial amount of damage to catch up anyone who dare push into him. Boost goes out. Push comes around by Zedko. As it goes 3-on-3, Sangal suddenly have a really good chance in this round. Probably the closest round they're going to have this kind of half. As, well, Zedko finds 1, Paz trades 2-on-2 now, and it gives Sangal a chance to get to an after-plant position as well.
The retake is on, as you said, but the problem for Sangal is taking so much damage. They won't have money. Even if they win it, in the upcoming one, Sinners are going to be with a better buy. But for now, the AWP and the Galil, what can they possibly do? Diffuse kits available for both players. Oscar still want the AWP, which might be a bit awkward in retakes. And Pass, he's going to take him down. There's the peek from Shock. No refrag potential whatsoever. And Shock now, in the 1 versus 2, he's just going to save. Give that one up. You have the money to go for the reinvestment. And, well, Sinners, they let Sangal go to double digits. This one is as close as possible, ladies and gentlemen. Both teams just playing round for round. Both teams struggling to build up a sustainable economy. And, well, at this point, I feel like it's more of a matter of who's gonna go huge in a round. Who's gonna go for a crazy crazy double or triple kill with the headshots, rather than just tactical outplaying each other.
Without a doubt, and for now, we'll have to see how they fare moving forward, as for the most part, it's going to be a bit of a tough position to be in if you are on that side of Sangal, because even though you win that round, it's the first round you've found on this half. As soon as they've already come back, they've already taken the lead, and they're in a more than a comfortable position to try and shut down anyone who dare encroach on their position. As we'll wait to see how they fare. And for now, it's going to be a bit of a tough showing. No damage done just yet, but it may not matter.
Zitko again boosted up to a short. Good for the first pass there. Shock! But 1-for-1 trades are working out wonders for the Teasers. Neo, is he ready for the apartments player? He is not. Engine to take his head clean off, and this might be yet another save from Sinners. They just got completely denied it. I absolutely love the change in pace from Sangal. Last round, it was a slower one. Last round, it was the default, just trying to find openings, so on and so on. Now they just go for the straight commitment. Show some presence in the beginning towards Banana, just to make Sinners know that you are there, you are watching it. They can't fully rotate towards A. 5 seconds after, you're already on the A bomb side and the bomb has been planted.
And if that isn't a reason to be scared, then I don't know what is. As Sinners, they let that bomb go off, and now Sangal, it looks like they might really be able to reveal that actually they're going to be in a perfect position to fight anyone who dare come their way.
That should be only the half-buy for Sinners, as of course Beastic and Oscar are going to be looking forward to making it as dangerous as possible. They go for the tactical timeout, which is a pretty correct choice in this situation. They're Sinners not going into this one with the mentality of that, like, we know that we need to win it. It's gonna be a half-buy, it's gonna be an eco. They will have money on the next one, but it is a winnable one as well, because having the AWP and the M4, this tactical timeout is more of like, how can we set up these players to make the difference here? How can we set them up to make sure that they have every single possibility to turn things in our favor? And I'm really interested to see how they do it, because Oscar, we saw there's like these 2 or 3 rounds that he went for the initial aggression in the beginning, and he actually made it work. If he does that now and they manage to stall things off, it might get pretty confusing for Sangal when there's pistols on the other side. It might get messy.
Without a doubt. And for now, we're going to see 2 shots ring out either way. These players attempt to hold, but that's too substantial. There more shots down, Oscar. And Sangal, they should take the lead off the back of this, as we see something horrific from Sinners. And, you know, as it gets close, Ted, do you think that Sangal are going to take us to map 3, or do you think that Sinners have shown enough kind of grit to make this a 2-0?
It's devastating. I think Sinners are still going to take this one. And Zetko, he thinks the same. Good for the first, not quite. For the second, a shock. He's going to fire from apartments, and this has collapsed. This is a 3 versus 2 now, and that's exactly what we were speaking about. Still, a pretty dangerous round, but Emmer there to shut down Beastic. The AWP and the Tech-9 are in play. If Sangal over-aggress at this point, if they're over-peak, and if they make a mistake, this might lead to their detrimental. Well, Shock, he's gonna do exactly that. Logic taking him down, and at this point, Neo should just save the AWP. Sinners,
Understandably so.
they did the damage. They did the necessary damage.
Understandably so, and as they back away, let's see how they fare moving forward. As, for now, it's down to Sinners to try and catch up some of these members. As Sangal, they go in the lead, but Sinners, at least they save an orb. They also go to their next buy, but Sangal, they've shown that they're really in a position to shut down anyone who dare encroach on their position, and unfortunately for these members, it's going to put them in a very tough position.
It is Sangal starting to build up their momentum here on the T side on Inferno. And for Sinners, it is about time to try and shut them down. Now the tricky part is that even if they win a round, they need to win it dominantly. Otherwise, they're gonna be, well, they're gonna be in for a tough time. It is not really good to win a round, go for the reinvestment into the upcoming one, and realize that you need to play, for example, with 3 SMGs and without the fuse kits.
Without a doubt, and for now, looks like Sinners they will choose to force with it. They go for the SMGs and they go for the kit buy here. And for Sangal, what could you hope? Do you think they could do here?
See though, there's the late banana presence. Sinners, they're trying to retake it. Emmer though just hiding in the smoke, not presenting anything to the CTs as Sangal taking the slow approach, of course, hoping that they could bait out utility, wait for Sinners to run out of it because they're not gonna have ITO economy. But so far, the Czech team actually they've done a pretty decent job of saving up utility for the last seconds, for the last part of the round. And this might come to haunt Sangal because when you go for a full execute on 30 seconds, for example, and you have a smoke deployed in front of you and you need to run through it, it could get messy. Let's see though. 55 seconds on the clock. Neo just spotting at this point. And there is it. There's the counter smoke. Now, with 35 seconds, the rotation loops will come through and they need to run through it. And that's exactly what Sinners want to do. Beastic with a double. Engine with one. Neo though to strike back. And this has just collapsed for the side of Sangal. Oscar hits up close with Joop. Not going for the shot still, as he will allow the bomb to go down. But flank around the smoke, Logic to find him.
Oh no. Logic man go for one more trade there. Logic man,
Oh my
beautiful
goodness.
round, and that should not have been allowed to happen. Sangal, they win around admirably, and well, unfortunately for the side, that's just horrific as we see just a round that should not have been won by Sangal. Then, of course, won by Sangal.
That was just textbook defending by Sinners. Saving up utility for the last part of the round, making them run through it, getting the initial 3 kills. That was originally 2 versus 5 that they lost. This is heartbreaking for their economy and for their chances here, because it's not the first half. It is 13-11. Shock, he's good for Engine, but what more can he do?
That's push gets through. Off goes what this does from Boiler. He realizes that Sangal just go for a bit of a contact towards the long. It's nothing too substantial, but let's see how they fare moving ahead. Sinners, they do have a bit of a stack ready for these long pushing players, and Sangal is a bit optimistic to go without a single player ready to hold the flank, but it won't matter. Logic Man, Major, they fight too. Shock and Neo Frag respond, though. It's doable. It's definitely doable as it goes 2-on-3 now. No Zedko will make his way on forward. Of course, the players towards backside with knowledge that both players will be there. Now the push can come on through. Should Sinners want it.
And both players, they're just trapped towards that side. There's an AK, there's an AWP, and a deco. Can Sinners make it work? The crossfire from Sangal is perfect. It's a really strong one. They just need to win all their duos, but Sinners, they're slowing down and they don't have a kid to work with. Now they kill Zedko. Good for the first and good for the second, and I think they have just about time. There is no way that Sinners win around like that.
Pretty damn
That's gonna
close.
be close. Does he got it?
Oh,
He does.
God, that's a
No way.
Incredible stuff from this side of Sinners as they now make it 12. And tell you what, over for those at side of Sangal, they are going to be kicking themselves for allowing a round like that to happen. Not only do they lose a round like that, but they also provide a perfect opportunity for Sinners to build a bit of economy as well.
And reset theirs. Like Sangal, they're buying up almost to 0. They won't have anything to work with if they lose this one and they don't get the bomb down. And even if they get it down, they don't have maximum loss bonus. Sinners, they're in a perfect position to win this, but Oscar, he's gonna go down to Logic.
Now, a few shots ring out either way as Sinners go a man down. It's going to be Immortal trying to get up close and personal towards the long, and they'll look to make it 2, but the Neofrag comes out on top. Now, Shock, his position in apps is going to be instrumental to Sinners' success, should it come to that.
Oh, but Sangal, they've changed up minds. They're going towards that B-bomb side, and it's completely clear. There's not a single close rotation, but Sangal, they don't know that. They don't know that, and they've slowed down. They've given chance for Sinners to rotate. There's only one player, but what could he do? There's the Molotov. Now he needs to go for the initial rotation, and the execute will come through. Zedko, though, ready to play through the smoke with a flash. There's the flash. There's the peek. No damage done, though. Neo there to fire back through the smoke with a double. What is that from Neo Frag?
They'll that is perfect. It falls down to Paz, the lone man left standing in a 1 versus 3. Trying to hold only 20 HP to his name, and well, as they swing straight into him, he lines up too. Suddenly it's doable. As Shock, the other man left standing in a 1 versus 1. Willie looks to push into him. We'll have to see, but my God, Paz makes it look doable.
25 seconds on the clock has passed. He's gonna make his way back towards A, but oh, Shock, he's got the read. He's got the read. He's rotating towards A as well. This is just perfect. As he has only 20 HP to work with, has the AWP as well. 10 seconds on the clock. Shock already making his way close up. Pass, spotting the player, goes to stick the bomb plant, knowing that he needs the money. And Pass, can he land this shot? Spots him, goes for the beacon pass! He's gonna land it! He's got this one! All day, every day, passers! And well, Sangal, they make it 14.
What a round by Paz there to propel his team to victory. Genuinely, if they'd faltered there and if they'd lost there, I genuinely would have thought it would have been just a complete and utter round in favor of this side.
That's the 1 versus 3. They threw this one so hard. They actually played it. They played it well. They went for the peek through the smoke with the flash. The flash though doesn't catch Pass, and this is what comes to haunt them in the end.
That was a thought ahead. I mean, just look at that from Paz there. That spray down there. That right there was just a round winning. Look at that.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect.
Sinners still being able to have a pretty nice buy, and they're not out of this one. They could still restart or rather reset the economy of Sangal if they win this one, but that was surely their round to win. Like, this shouldn't have been so close. This shouldn't have been a Sangal round, but Pass, he has other things in mind.
Down for the time being. It goes to a 5-on-5 with Shock eating a nade to kick things off, but Sangal, they do leave banana.
A lot of damage has been done both ways. Sangal making sure that they show some presence towards banana, but Sinners, they have the read, and now that Sangal explodes towards long, there's still 2 players here. There's the flashless beast, he goes for the fight. Gets down to first. Now he needs to make his way back towards the side as quick as possible. They have the crossfire with the player towards balcony. Beasting finding the second engine to fire back, but Zetko still towards balcony. And now the 4 versus 2 major. Pushing up library. Good for the first, not quite for the second. Shock there to shut down. And Logic doesn't have the bomb that's yet to get collected. And Shock, he is not done just yet.
So I'm very, very scared for this Sangal side as soon as they come back. More importantly, prevent a bomb plant, which annihilates that economy for Sangal. And because of that, we see them pulling ahead in a really substantial fashion as these teams look to hold. It's a rough time ahead, but we'll see if Sangal can shut down anyone.
Oh, they're going for the force buy. They're forcing up.
It's risky.
Oh.
So risky.
It is so risky. I mean, like that, when you force here, you could reset the economy of Sinners. Partially. As well, even if you lose it, you eco on 14 equal, and you have a buy round on 15-14. But if you eco now, you have a buy round on 14-14, and then if you lose it, you have an eco on 15-14 for Sinners. So, basically, like that, you grant yourself 2 buys in the worst scenario. Which is why Sangal are going for this one, but still, let's see if the Mac-10s and the Tech-9s will be enough for them to fight. They don't have the maximum loss bonus, so even if they get the bomb down, the next one is still not going to be anything different but that. It's not going to be better for sure.
Without a doubt. For now, we'll have to see just how they fare as Yusil gets sent out. The shots go flying, and well, let's see if Sangal are able to make their way on towards the safe side, or if Sinners are going to refute them once more. The nades are a bit early, and so it means Sangal will dodge a bit of the early damage, but it will not matter. Shock ready, boosted on up, ready to shut down anyone's engine, and Logic Man ring true. Follow-up kill goes either way, though. Zimmer finds Zedko. It's all on Shock to hold this site. Can he do so? Good for 1. He's got 2 more to worry about, though. Those remaining players from Sangal desperately low on HP as Major attempts to get away, and get away he shall. Heads towards this B site, he'll buy some time. And more importantly, his teammate will buy some space. As Logic Man cowers before the safe site, looking to hold on to this MP9, looking to catch out a player in rotation. As with 10 seconds left, this B plant goes through. The risk, though, is that if Major's taken down, Logic Man is going to be nowhere near him to try and assist.
Oh, but they're ready for it. Logic, he's gonna take down Shock, but now Major, if he loses this fight, that's the round done. Oscar, though, not ready, and Major, he wants to take us to a third map. Sangal, they win it. Somehow they win it. Both on the red sector with 20 seconds on the clock. They don't go for the bomb plant. That was such a smart play. And Oscar going down in the end. Sinners, well, they need to win 2 in a row just to force overtime. And to be honest, Kremer, I don't think we're going to OT.
I don't believe so either, unless we see something horrific from Sinners or something horrific from Sangal, really. I think this is going to be a Sangal map, and for the time being, no shots ring out either way. Shock will kick things off by finding Paz, and well, that's the horror we need to start with, as Beastiki was able to shut down Immor as well. It goes to a 5 versus 3, and for the most part, I don't see much of a response coming from this side.
15-13, 2-man advantage for the CTs. Of course, this is their map pick, but at this point, Sangal, they've done pretty much more than enough. But can they take it over the edge? They need only one more round to force a decider. Of course, Sinners at this point just fighting to get us to an OT and try and work out their way out of there. But still, Sangal, they will have their chances. 3 players grouping up towards that B side. 1 smoke and 2 mollies. There's the grenades, there's the smokes. Are they ready for the boost though? There's the damage. Beastic dropping out after the first Neo. Now needs to win as much time as possible as Major is gonna drop him. Beastic realizing he doesn't have to take this one. They're in a 4 versus 2 in a pole position to win the round.
Without a doubt, and there's a few shots ring out either way. Let's see just how Sinners fare on this retake. 4-on-2, it's winnable to say the least, but they don't quite have the weaponry to do so. Instead, as they get ready for this fight, it's going to be a swing wide. Logic Man and Major good for 2. Suddenly it goes to a 2 versus 2. Major flashed off the angle, trying to progress on forward, looking for one more as Oscar trades. 1 versus 2 now. Logic Man sitting towards U-Box. He's had a great game so far. Can he make it better? Tech 9 in hand, ready to swing wide. Does he catch out the member? Yes, he does! Sangal, they make it 16, and with that, they propel us to a 3rd map.
What the hell was that? Sangal, after losing Nuke, we just rolled them off. We didn't think that they had what it takes to fight here on Inferno. Well, they prove us wrong. They win map number 2 and they force the decider. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, the decider is gonna be Mirage. Let me remind you, the winner of this one qualifies straight to the finals that are gonna be played. After this, the loser goes home. This is a semi-final, no second chances, and Sangal, they refuse to give up. Of course, we want to thank every single one of you that is here. We love you all, but we're gonna be heading onto a quick break before we come back and see if Sangal are gonna complete the comeback or are Sinners gonna, on their way, come back from that loss on Inferno and close things out on Mirage. Stay tuned.
haunting melody. What do spirits say? What do spirits say in the darker days? What do spirits say? When the mist is all but gone, there's something inside the water. Don't know where they're coming from. They are free to roam above the sea, and their story stays with me like a haunting melody. What do spirits say? What do spirits say in the darker days? What do spirits say?
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Shadow League. Of course, for those of you that are confused, well, what you see on your screens are that's not us. That's not us. These two wonderful gentlemen are our Russian casters. We are just using the same clean feed, but we are back, of course, with the Shadow League, the final map on the second semi-final between Sinners and Sangal. So far, going 1-1 on Nuke and Inferno. I'm your caster Ted. Merhaba kardeş, and ahoy to everybody. And I'm joined by the person that is currently holding the Oscar for the most beautiful voice in the world, Kramer3.
So I wish I held an Oscar. That'd be nice. But no, instead, all I hold is another 14-hour broadcast on hand, as these teams neither want to give it up, neither want to show any sign of weakness. And as we go to game 3, it could absolutely go either way. And on top of it going either way, Ted, I'm going to throw it to you.
Yeah.
You got a prediction here?
Ooh. Do I have a prediction here? Well, looking statistically at it, the favorites on paper should be Sinners. Although, Sinners were the favorites on Inferno as well. And so far, the series haven't necessarily been going in the best way possible for them. So, at this point, you know what? Only because I know that you're going to say Sinners, I think Sangal are going to take it.
I could have said Sangal for all you know. For all you know. But of course, for those of you in the chat, do let us know who you think's going to win. Do so by either spamming that little mask for Sangal, or for Sinners, sorry, or spamming that red angry dragon for Sangal. Do let us know who you think's going to win. And of course, we always like to read the chat while we cast, even though we're not really meant to. Of course, I personally, you say Sangal, I say Sinners, only because you've said Sangal, and well, we'll have to see how they fare moving ahead. And, for the most part, this is going to be a bit of a tough showing by these teams, don't you think?
It is going to be one. And I want to say it again. It is our cameras are not delayed, our microphones are not delayed. This is just not us on the screen. This is our lovely Russian colleagues, Sandman and Lexonic. Alex Ivashkin, who is the love of the life of Kramer.
I mean, how can he not be? When he looks up at the camera, look how seductively he looks up at it. Give him a sec. Like, it's just something to behold. It really is. What's funny actually is, I joke like this, like we've actually spoke, like we're good friends. I've actually spoke to this guy before. I don't think he speaks a word of English, so this is, any second now I could have received like a cease and desist from him about bringing up his name, but for the time being,
I can try and lip sync them again.
You want to lip sync them for us?
Yeah. Oh, Bratan, I really believe they do a really good job on map number 2, but unfortunately they lose. Of course, going through the third map, Mirage, it's gonna be an interesting one for sure. I really don't think though that they would have chance, and I really think that I will smack Kramer after this one for being a naughty boy. He's really I really like him. He's a sympathetic little boy.
Jesus, man. Is that accurate? Is it not? I guess
What?
To see, but for now, we'll have to see how they fare moving forward.
For which part? I can tell you, is it accurate or not? For the
all
CS:GO
of it.
part, I'm not sure. For the other one,
Start to finish. Yeah. I'll have to see. But again, tell you what they said. All right, we've seen. Yeah, you predict Sangal, I predict Sinners.
Yeah.
You want to put a score to it?
oh. You know what? I want to. I will say 16-8 Sango.
Wow, so you think Sinners aren't really going to put up much of a fight here?
I think Sango are pretty fired up from map number 1, and well, let's say it's gonna be the pass show. That's what I'm thinking.
Right. Well, personally, I think that moving into map 3, this is going to be overtime. I think Sinners 1917. If not, then maybe Sinners 22-20.
Okay. I pretty much think it could go either way. Like, we said it's gonna be a close matchup probably. I really believe that having the momentum on their side, Sango should have this one, but I'm really not gonna get surprised if Sinners win it as well. Because, especially a map like Mirage is a really balanced one. And it's a map that really depends on having well-performing opers and having just people hitting their shots individually. It is a tactical one as well, but not so much. Not as much maybe as maps like Nuke, like Train, like Overpass. Mirage being a bit more like aim orientated, and at this point I'm not sure if Oscar is confident enough to fight with Logic, because we saw some pretty nice stuff from Logic in past in the end. And I think if Immor adds up to that, if they have the combined firepower of the three of them, there should be no chance. But, well, we are yet to see. The pistol round is ready to start, ladies and gentlemen. Sinners against Sangal. The winner of this one goes to the final. The loser goes home. Let me hear you in the chat for Sinners and Sangal, as the 9th round, or rather the pistol round, is ready to start.
The Sangal, they go in fairly util heavy, that being a couple of smokes deployed early on towards A. Flashes go on out. Set piece goes down, the push to follow suit. The Sinners playing a bit of a reset now will allow their teammates to be flashed in towards jungle. The Sangal looks to be discharged on forward. Shots is quick able to find power, but not much of a response to Oscar as well. Will shut down Immor. Nice little opening though, as Engine will look to shift on through counter towards stairs. We need to bear in mind there are players in jungle to worry about. That Longer Man will try and dispatch. He's able to down one. And able to find the second. They will shot through the swing, able to find yet one more. I think it's best connected. They found 3 kills so far without spiking a single member. Engine on stairs, only good for one though. Shot takes him down. It's still on Major. Last one left standing. Finished off by Beastie Key. Once the pistol run gets underway, looks like Sinners are going to get things started with a bang.
That was an impressive round. I like that, Kramer. I like it. That was a nice Eminem round.
It wasn't too Eminem-y.
It wasn't too. It was like the perfect mixture of mumble rap and Eminem. It was nice. How do people call this one? Trap. That was trap, or drill, something like that. Yeah.
We'll have to see. We'll
Nice
have to
one,
see.
nice one.
But
Sinners.
going on. Yeah,
Yeah,
going Sangal's
they
first
managed to win the pistol round nonetheless. As Sangal, they're gonna force up on the back of the bomb plant. We have the AK. We have actually 3 Galoos and 2 pistols, as they're going for heavy middle presence. And on the other side, Sinners, they look more than ready to contest it, as they've already put on the rotation towards that B side. And Beastic Neofractor just shutting down Sangal all over the way. Zetko making sure that Immor and Major go down. And Logic, just like that, this entire force was demolished by Sinners. A pretty decent read. In the moment that they saw the grenades towards middle, they knew what's going to happen. They knew that that was going to be the B-split, and they managed to deny it in the best way possible.
It was a really, really good read. And something that's more interesting as well is that Sangal, or Sinners even, their rotation, not only was it perfect, but hardly any of them took any damage. It means that they saved so much in terms of money, they saved so much utility when it comes to just fighting whoever dare come that way.
Yeah. They do, and now, having the fact that it's an eco on the other side, they shouldn't be losing any players as well. They might actually have a pretty decent economy coming into a third one. Of course, we know on Mirage, you need that utility, especially if you want to fight for middle, if you want to contest middle control, because once Sangal have money as well, they're gonna go constantly for these window short top connector smokes, just molotovs all over the place, flashes. And if the CTs want to contest, which of course isn't something that is necessary to do, you could as well just leave middle in the hands of Sangal. You need those grenades, you need the money for the ops as well. And well, Logic, that's a nice peek onto Zetko. Is he gonna follow up? No, he's not, but Major is there to support him.
It does damage, and frankly, that's all that's needed. You know, for Major and Paz, they're going to make their way back around. And, 1 kill, it's all right. 2 kills is okay, and 3 kills is perfect. The fact they were able to get 2 is right. They keep that damage done. It means that they make up for the lack of damage they did last round, and it just keeps that Sinners economy just a bit honest. For now, as Sangal make their way on forward, they make noise towards Palace, but as that bomb rotates towards B, it'll all be heard. Sangal, they're not really putting Sinners under any illusion right now, as Oscar would be ready for the players to run on out. He's the lone one, and, well, looks like BTQ will hold firm.
So far managing to fake out some presence here, but that hasn't dragged the rotation. Shock, he's gonna take down Pass, now they know. And Major, well, he's gonna hope that this big bomb side is completely open. It is not. Beastic, 1 bullet, 1 kill, with the MP9. Sinners making it 3rd, and now the grenades and the AKs will come in through from Sangal, but not before our favorite partners, the technical pulses.
Looks like Sports making a feature in pretty much every game we've had, haven't we? Guess great guys, but tell you what though, pretty clean round for the most part from Sinners there. Even though Sangal were able to do a bit of damage, still clean by Sinners. They move to the next buy. Do you think that Sangal are going to have a chance here and reset them early? Or are we going to see a bit of Sinners momentum before Sangal get the show rolling?
Well, I believe this is pretty much a bonus round from Sinners. If they win it, perfect. Like, you didn't upgrade the Scout, you didn't upgrade the SMG. It is just a bonus one. So I would guess that we'll see some aggression from Sinners for the first buy round. If they lose it, we're going to see them just playing defensively from their own, getting the AWPs, getting comfortable. They might go for double up as well. It is not something that is... Like, it is not usual. It's not your go-to on the CT side of Mirage, but it's still something that we've seen a fair amount of times. On the other side, Sangal, they are pretty mid-heavy orientated team, which means that their go-to is to just take middle control in different forms. I'm looking forward to seeing this default mid-take late one with two players coming in from underpass, just one holding towards top middle, trying to late take, catch Sinners by surprise, letting them into like full sense of security towards mid, and it's gonna be an interesting fight. I believe that at one point Sinners, Sangal, they're gonna go straight towards middle control. If they get denied one or two times, they might prioritize going for executes.
Without a doubt. And tell you what, if you're on the side of Sangal, what do you call it? Do you call somewhere fast, or do you just call for a straight execute?
You know it's a bonus round, right? You know they're like lacking weaponry, but I believe that still it should be a pretty default one to go for. Like, I think the default is a nice way to begin with. Just taking middle control, playing the default, one player holding towards B, one towards A, making sure that you have the possibility of fast rotation to change a pace, and potentially wait and see and just punish any aggression from Sinners, because I think we're gonna see some.
Without a doubt. And tell you what, in that form of aggression, we see Beastie with that MP9. I suspect we might see maybe aggression towards B apps, maybe a top mid push as well. And because we know Sangal like that AWP on logic command, we've seen how effective it can be. It wouldn't surprise me if we do see this top mid push go through from Beastie. And well, it looks like it's aggression, but towards apps this time. And that happens to be the perfect call. It's exactly where Sangal are looking to congregate. And Sinners now, let's see if they can shut it down.
Major, he's gonna find the opening control square. Of course, that was the Scout, and this is exactly what mid-take I was anticipating, but there's the aggression, and Pasky wasn't ready for it. That's the exact mid-take that I was anticipating from Sangal. Just two players from under, one towards top middle. So far, looking good, but still, Neo, he is dangerous. He's gonna do some pretty fair damage with the grenades.
Now as he forces these.
They're gonna slow things down. At this point, this is maybe the freedom that middle control gives you, because you could as well go towards A, towards B. You have no restrictions at this point.
Yeah. And it is at that point we have to see just how these players are fair moving forward. Can Logic Man make his way into connector? All these players set up in connector. There's a major shuts down Neo Frag. That's the opening that Sinners, well, that Sangal needed. That Sinners play their detriment. He goes 3-on-4 for this retake. Zed got his catch out a member through this smoke. Looks like he'll do just that. Just teasing a peek, unable to spot them out though. This Major gets ready to go through it. Zedco just on the angle. Does he spot out this member? Yes, he does. Good for one. Looks for a second. Unable to do so though, as Engine's the one to shut him down. Now Beastie on his flank. Bullets to hold.
Shock and Beastie coming in from behind. They know exactly where the players from Sangal are, but time is ticking low, and with Logic picking up Beastie, this should be the safe call. Shock good for one, but for nothing more, as well, the default working out wonder for Sangal. The point where it could get a bit like confusing, a bit awkward, is that when you go for a split like that, when you commit so heavily to middle, when you don't have in your Palace player, for example, falls, you have no control over ramp and Palace. You need to clear this one, and you kind of have that tunnel from connector towards side. You plant a bomb, and then you need to go back into connector, and you have this one tunnel because they're holding jungle, they're holding ramp, they're holding Palace and CT. So you have a straight line, and you can't just go anywhere else. This is the way that this could backfire from Sangal, and they're deciding to switch things up. After showing heavy middle presence, they're going straight for that A execute.
And this is really what's going to work for them now. As Shock the man to hold. He's had a great game so far. Let's see if he can make it even better. Ready for the first person to push straight into him. Good for one. Looks for a second. Unable to do so. Those Paz shuts him down. The response there, and well, the lack of response from Sinners becomes prevalent as the plant goes down. Sangal looks to hold. The spam from Neofrag is good, but it's not perfect. Instead, Sinners find themselves in a 4-3 retake.
There's the molly deployed. And Sinners, they need to group up and play with as many members from CT as possible. This is maybe the best approach to a retake like that, and they're doing exactly that. 3 players from CT, 1 from Connector, but are they ready for Major? He's in a prior position to shut down this entire retake from Connector, or rather Logic, not Major. Good for the first steal, they're not realizing, but he even takes down the diffuser. How is that possible? Logic. Okay.
Beautiful shot from Logic.
Oscar, go and pick up the AWP from Logic, please. He doesn't
want
want
it's clearly broken.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah, it's clearly broken. Like, my man just. I miss that guy from the Stewie clips right now. Just, I can hear him in my head. Crisp, clean,
Yeah.
aim lock. This guy, I forget his name all the time.
Dan
Yeah, such a okay. 3-2. Sinners still in the lead. Sango, of course, managing to reset their economy as they move on. Of course, they don't need the AWP in this one. They know that it's just a weak buy on the other side, but they need to be careful about Oscar.
Now they get ready to push on forward. They're ready to catch out some of these members. Unable to do so though, as Oscar's the one to no-scope Logic Man is up. Suddenly rings true as flashes will go out towards A. Immol will find Shock. Neofrag USP though will find the good for it. Immol good for one more piece to key there to trade. And tell you what, Sinners have had amazing success with these ecos in the past, and they seem to be doing so again now.
They're just really good at utilizing the pistols and the bonus gun that they save. Because again, they had the AWP. In previous rounds, they had guns as well. Now let's see, Neo on the AK, Zetko with the OP, 2 to find, but they even have a defuse kit in Neo. They might even stick it if they find the first onto engine. Spotting the first engine, fires the initial shots, giving his position away. There's the peak engine, good for the first B-stick to follow back. And Fast now in the 1 versus 1, goes for the fight, baits out the defuse. There's the fake pass, takes the bait, goes for the peak, but there is no time, I believe, for B-stick to go for it. That was extremely close, but Sango, they make it work, and they win number 3.
You're absolutely right, it's extremely close, but they come out nonetheless. And with that now, Sinners, they go down to their next full buy, and well, they're in a bit of a tough spot right now as Sangal looks to come on ahead, they looks to pull on ahead, and they look to really just try to take the lead here.
They are indeed gonna take the lead, and Sinners, well, they'll be able to rebuy. That was only the half buy left, remind you. So doing so much damage on a round like that, it is perfect. Let's see how Sango fare, and they go back to that exact default with the late middle take. And I actually really like the fact that Sinners aren't contesting middle so much, because they're aware that Sango aren't giving it up. They're aware that Sango are just... They want to lure them into a false, like, security sense. And, well, what they do is they push ramp. They leave middle, they try and trade it for other parts of the map, which is the correct thing to do, and find themselves with a man advantage.
Now they have this man advantage. Let's see if they can catch out any of these members who dare come their way. For the time being, Logic Man shifting up into connector. He'll lead this charge to try and catch out a member, but Shocky spots at the time. He doesn't with him though, as Immol deletes him. And now Sangal, they push on ahead as well. It goes 4-on-3. Neofrag nice to trade, but Oscar's flank right now is pivotal to the success of Sinners, but Engine shuts him down. 3-on-3 now, and Immol on the close angle will look to wipe out anyone who dare come into it.
Oh, and they baited this one so smart. They have the double setup towards CT, and the problem for the CTs is that they don't actually have a flash, or do they? Oh, they have one. That's perfect. There's the peek, there's the kill. Engine though to fire back. And now Engine onto the 1 versus 1. He needs to find this kill for the sake of his round, and Engine, just by getting this one kill, he should have won the round for his team. There is no way that Zetko gets this one. Doesn't even have a defuse kit to work with. And well, Major, he's gonna take him down from behind. Sango, they make it 4. They reset the economy of Sinners fully. And this default and the splits, well, they're working perfectly at this point.
Without a doubt. And Sangal, they've just been stagnating. They've been unable to fight. They've been unable to hold. And well, with that, they end up in a very, very dire position. As for now, shots ring out either way. Oscar is able to shut down Logic Man, and you know, once he found that initial kill, Sangal, they really just pulled on ahead. You know, unfortunately for Sinners, just everything they tried from here on out just has not worked. And Sangal, they found their rhythm, they found their beat, and they haven't deferred from it because they haven't had to.
Yeah, and this is the problem of a map like Mirage, because when they have such a nice default that allows them to go for duos, and they're just aim heavy, they're executing the default and the rounds in a way that they guarantee themselves to have 1v1s. They guarantee themselves to have duos, and every single time, even if they get the initial peak, there is refrag potential. The spacing is really good, so far so good. Sango doing a pretty decent job on the D side, as far as, of course, they have guns to work with.
Without a doubt, and this is genuinely their chance just to catch out everything and, well, try and just do the odd bit of damage for Sinners. All they can hope for is maybe the odd AK that they can save, maybe the AWP if they're lucky, but actually there's none there. Logic Man has gone to a max 10. It's the odd dink, and for Neo Frag, I think armor is the most thing he's going to have to try and save now.
By the way, as this round ends, something that it just hopped on my mind. Do you think that Linky Vikings are scared watching these two teams right now? And do you think that they should be?
I would be. Yeah. Both teams are playing out their minds, and honestly, even if it's Sinners, even if it's Sangal, both are going to put a substantial amount of pressure on the Vikings, because the reality is both of these teams, they've got strategy, but that's not the core of their success. The core of their success is that every single player on either team can just bring out at any moment a flary round in which they 1v5.
Yeah, exactly. And well, Sinners, as they go for yet another buy round, this is going to be the full B execute from Sango. This is a pretty uncharacteristic round from them. And Sinners, they went for the middle presence, but Sango, they don't care. They don't care about middle. They're just storming towards that B side, and Imor taking down the first, looking for the second. They know exactly where he is. As Zetko, he's gonna be good for one, but that might not be enough. And Sinners, that's the save. They're completely out of the round. And this is why the D side of Sango is so powerful on Mirage. They're just switching things up instantly. Every single time they feel, okay, Sinners, they're going for a buy round. They saw that we're winning crowns based on our middle control. They'll try and contest it. That's exactly what Sinners try to do. They go for the aggressive middle setup. But Sango, they don't even send one player towards middle. They're just going straight for the B execute, knowing that there won't be any fast rotation because of the mid aggression. Getting the initial kills, that's it. Round over. They need to go and save. They can't even have a say in the matter because they're too far away.
Without a doubt, and I tell you what, beautiful round by Sangal there, and they exit admirably, only losing one member, but more importantly, destroying that Sinners, not only economy, but confidence. We know that Sinners, they're not going to try anything aggressive, because every time they try and just peek, or every time they try and hold, they just get one-tapped by Sinners who just explode out into them.
Well, they do. Of course, Sinners, on the back of saving those 3 guns, they will be able to rebuy, but I think it is a pretty nice time to call a tactical timeout for them. They see that things aren't necessarily working, and, well, Sango are looking pretty sharp. I know I gave my predictions for Sango, but I'm kind of impressed. Because there's a lot of tactical depth into this success so far. These goals, the goals that they're going for, early round, mid round, Sango are really impressing me with their approach to the game. Their awareness on Mirage is pretty sick.
Yeah, without a doubt. And, you know, I'd always said that I think Sinners are going to win. Doesn't mean I can't credit Sango. They've been incredible.
Yeah.
And more importantly, they have been a side to fear. Simply because even now, when they're calling timeouts, it shows a discipline that we didn't really see on Inferno and, of course, Nuke.
And they're going for the same lane.
Exactly. And why not? It works.
Oh,
well, I say it works. Zedko just slaps that straight down. But with that, it goes into a 5-on-2. And well, as Neofrag shuts down Engine, it falls down to Beastie Kid. Last man standing. He'll finish the job. And Sinners, they finally put an end to it.
And that was so smart from Sinners. Just to be... I love the fact that Sinners are trying to adapt as well. And they decided to leave middle. Going for the double AWP, they don't actually need all 3 players towards middle, at least in the beginning, as they saw that Sangal are willing to try things like that. Of course, the reason that Sangal went for that is that they had the initial Mac 10 saved up, so they pretty much wanted to try and use them again. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, we have enough money to update. So now they're gonna go back to the basics. Like the nice default with 2 players under, 1 top middle and Logic, starting things off with a quick pickup onto Neo.
Without a doubt, and now as they boost up into window, it's going to be Sangal's chance to try and infiltrate the back line, but Zedko ready for it from ladder room, shuts him down. Follow-up push comes through, and for Sangal, as the man count's evened out, they take a moment to embrace the lull before turning their attention towards the safe side. Shock, he's caught out, he's legged on down as he tries to back away. What utility goes out either way, and well, continues to force on back. Zedko good for one more though. Engine falls, 4-on-3. See how they fare pushing on ahead.
The bomb will go down here. As Logic, he's gonna find Zedko. That's his second of the round. The AWP and Logic. On Inferno, he was sharp. If he manages to transfer that, and so far he has, there could be a lot of trouble. But Logic, as I say that, he's gonna miss the shot. Now, they go for the double wrap from T-Spawn. That is a ballsy decision. If Sinners go for a fast retake here, that might backfire massively. And look at that, they're ready for it. Oscar, he's watching for it, checking for it. This is such a strange situation because Sinners, they're taking their time. Oscar going for it was the first, but there's no way that they're ready for a second. Oscar, he was ready for a second, and just like that, Sinners, they make it work.
Absolutely phenomenal stuff from Sinners there to pull it back, and that was all on Zedko. That ladder control was absolutely pivotal to their success, and as they came out on top, that was exactly what they needed. As Sangal rotated back down towards A, it was a bit of damage on the CT player. Credit where credit's due to Shock. Even though he's tagged on down, he was still able to survive, and that was everything. Sometimes in CS, your presence is scarier than your actual fight, as, yeah, Shock, low HP, really had a lot of trouble fighting, but it did not matter because he was there. It meant Sangal still had to be wary of that position. And now as util goes down, as smokes get deployed, Sangal attempts to push. They go for straight execution. There's no one there to defend. The utility just tries to do the odd bit of damage.
That's again just Sinners trying to counter that mid aggression, that mid control, but just getting completely denied by the core from Sangal. Oscar though having a gap in the smoke to work with, and Zedko, he's gonna find Major as well. Sangal, they're getting completely destroyed towards that A bomb site. Although they have the entire site covered, they still can't get the bomb down, and this is worrying. Now the 3 versus 5 Sinners, they managed to deny them completely, all on the back of that gap in the smoke in the attempted bomb plant. Now they slow things down, 1 minute to work with, but the aggression from Sinners might actually clear up the entire map and lure them into over-rotating towards that A bomb site, which would be the right call to do.
For now, Logic Man attempts to hold towards default, trying to do the odd bit of damage wherever possible. It's a bit of a lull as Shock shuts him down. It's all on Logic Man jumping on up, and well, Sinners tie things up 6-6. More importantly, they force Sangal into a horrific buy, because without a bomb plant, this Turkish side are going to have a fairly rough buy ahead. You know, there's only about 2.4 on Paz, 2.8 on Engine. It's not enough to buy, and I suspect we will see pistols and armor now as they make look to swarm a site.
Well, at this point, Sinners, I think they got used to just Sangal going 1 round default mid control, 1 round execute, 1 round middle control, 1 round execute. I think Sinners already know they got used to that, and Sangal, they need to try and switch things up, because every single time on the back of winning a round or doing an eco, the next one they're going for the default. So let's see how they fare from now, as he's gonna fall early on. There's the full A execute, smokes all over the place, and well, if they manage to get the bomb down, that's gonna be pretty much perfect. Neo here towards Thunder Palace. There's the flash to work with. He's gonna have the first Shock to help him out, and just like that, well, this is gonna be pretty much mission impossible for Immer and Logic.
Without a doubt, falls down to his last member in a 1 versus, say, 2 versus 3 now, as Logic Man and Immel both find kills of their own, and let's see if they're able to catch out anyone as Oscar, he'll respond onto Immel. Logic Man, the last man left standing, 1 versus 3, swinging wide into CT. Beastie keeps ready for him, and for the first time in a while, we finally see Sinners take the lead.
We do indeed, and this is a pretty sick recovery, considering for Sinners, it was worrying for a bit, considering that this is, of course, their stronger side on Mirage. They've won over 60% of their rounds on Mirage on the CT side. We can't say the same about Sangal, though they've won a lesser. I think it's like half-half. It's like 50.1% on the T side and the rest on the CT, or the other way around. So for Sinners, it was important. It was important to put up a strong performance here and to win the half on the CT side. So far, of course, they haven't won it, but at least they're in a strong position to do so. Because Sangal, they don't really care. For them, it's pretty much even. Sinners are the ones that could struggle on the T side, which of course means that they need to try and win more rounds here, but Major trying to take down the initial player.
Now near frag able to find Immel, Edges do the same, and Shot gets the next set in the matter, and that is a swift exchange, but nonetheless, we see Sinners in a 4-on-3. Zedko looking to catch out the odd member wherever possible, peeking towards under, not quite spotting them though. So now we'll have to see how they catch out. As Logic Man finds Oscar, follow up as well onto Zedko. Puts it down into 2-on-3, and I think Sangal may have won the round off that route of perfection from Logic Man as he finds 2 quick kills. Beastie will make his way on forward up from Short, trying to catch out the odd member. He spots him. He can't quite finish him though. Instead, Shock from behind. The flanking AWPer is going to have a lot of weight on his shoulders now as the bomb isn't even planted for him. A single man is going to peek him, so shift on forward in a desperate attempt to catch out one of these members.
For Shock, they spotted him, so this is going to be an extremely hard situation. He needs to wait for his teammate from CD to make contact and try to find a kill. If he doesn't find a kill, well, he goes back and saves. If he does, they can go for it. And that was such a sick flash from Shock. Beastie finding the initial kill, but Major on the headshot angle against the AWP gonna have a huge advantage. White peeking onto it, but still there is no time for Beastie, even though he's gonna find the first and the second. I don't think he's got it.
Is there enough side?
Does he?
Oh, he does?
Oh,
he does?
he actually does.
Alright.
Alright.
Okay.
That's quite a way to win this one. Sinners, they make
down.
it 8. I was so sure that he has no time for it. Alright.
But comes out on top. Fair enough to the lad.
Nice one from Beastie. As of course, Sinners, they're gonna win the first half. Something that we said was vital for them. It was really important, and it could be a pivotal point in their success here. Of course, in their potential success on Mirage, as Neo, he's quick to shut down Logic.
Shifting on forward, that nade forcing him away and takes a substantial amount of damage as he's forced on back. Scopes on in, looking to catch out some of these members for the time being.
For now,
Substantial though.
For now, he's just gonna fall back. Sangal in the man disadvantage. They need to group up and just find an opening somewhere. They need an initial peek. We can see they're looking for the aggression. And Major, he hears that jump spotting player. He knows. If he times the peek correctly, he might have it. Major going for the push. Beastie towards the back of the side here and goes for the rotation from the short player. But Major, he's gonna take down Zedko. Beastie now needs to stand his ground. Both players with the bumper here, but Oscar, he's already rotated. And Sinners, they might be on their way to number 9 here. Unless, of course, Immer wins the clutch for the history books, but in the end, he won't as Sinners. They make it 9. They need only 7 more to go to the finals. And on the side of Sangal, the magical number is 10.
Perfect stuff by Sinners there, and I tell you what, if Sinners can find this pistol round, they might look to try and close this map out early. Sangal, you need to bear in mind, last time we've seen all these players fight, all these teams clash, the last 2 times Sinners have won. They're going to look to make it the hatch now, but the only time Sangal have come out on top is the first time they played. Yeah, out of 3, only 1 success. Let's see if Sangal can make that 2 and kind of even things out 2-2 in these matchups, but Sinners, they look like they want to come out on top here.
They do, and I believe they've played Mirage only once and Sinners won it. So statistically, they have a 100% win rate against Sanko on this map. Doesn't matter that it's all over just one map, but well, we're gonna see. Sinners, Sanko, ready to start things off. As Sinners, they're gonna go for the default contact play towards B. Now they're gonna just explode to it. Smoke towards window of kitchen. 2 flashes. First 2 players jumping through the window. And pass. Oh, he's ready for it. Gets the first, gets the second, gets the third pass. All the way. Doesn't quite connect onto the fourth, but at this point, it doesn't even matter. Bistic in a 1 versus 4. Good for the first, but what could he possibly do? He's gonna need something insane. Finding the second Bistic. Still not out of this one, but Engine is ready for it. And fast, well, single-handedly just destroying the entire person. Look at that. Look at how clean that was.
Beautiful round by Pass. I tell you what, that man, we talk about how he doesn't have many kills. It's the impact of those kills that matters, and he brings that round for Sangal admirably. It forces Sinners down to a straight eco, and this is Sangal's window of opportunity to come back into this game.
You know what? I don't care how much time this takes. After the final, I'm getting into deathmatch. I want to play now. I want to play CS so badly after watching this. This is, well, it's insane. These guys are actually really good. They're putting up a show. They're putting up a show. Like, it is obvious that they're good. They're professionals. They've played on majors, but they're actually performing out of their minds. This is insane. And they're so focused because we've seen these teams play in other tournaments, even in the earlier stages here at the Shadow League, just doing mistakes that they shouldn't be, not being as clinical, but to see them when it's important, you see that they're actually focused. They're disciplined, they're focused, and they're playing to their maximum extent. And this is when you see that they are experienced, and that they know when they need to perform. They know when they could potentially have a bad game, a bad day, just off with communication, with individual performance, and you see when they realize that they actually need to perform, and they are performing. This is what is making this game so interesting. Ladies and gents, of course, I want you to spam in the chat for both Sinners and Sangal, the masks, the Red Dragons. Just support these guys. They're putting up one hell of a show, and don't forget, the winner of this one, they're gonna face Linkby Vikings in the final later today.
Tell you what, do you think the winners in this game, or do you think Linkby Vikings are going to triumph over whoever these guys, have either of these guys?
I really believe that Linkby are gonna be the underdogs. Doesn't matter what happens here. On the back of their performance against Hellraisers, because it was shaky.
That's true, they did look shaky against Hellraisers, and frankly, against these teams you can't afford to be shaky. We see Paz, Zedco exchange blows, and with that, it's going to be Sinners going a man down to Sangal. Looks to tie things up, 9-9 here.
Major, well, he thinks that it's about time for this to happen. He wants to level things up, finding the first, and now Shock and Bistic, they're left in the 2 versus 4, but just how much can they do?
Let's see how he fares moving on forward, as it's going to be early setup. Shock then catch out the initial man, he's able to do exactly that. As it falls down to both Immorth to try and hold the site. Shock takes him down, his second of the round now, and suddenly he boasts a bit of a chance right now as it moves into a 2 versus 2. That bomb's looking on down for Sinners, and Sangal, they're going to make their way on forward. Engine from Apps, Logic Command from Short. And if they can fight in unison, if they can try and take these players out in unison, they're going to be in a perfect position. But Beastie finds the first. Engine spotted out. Engine will try and finish the job. Beastie unable to do so, though, as the bomb takes on down. I think that's going to be a swift victory.
And that was originally a 4 versus 2. This is a huge round to lose for Sangal. This is a massive setback. Of course, they'll have the money to go for the reinvestment if they want. They won't have the cash for the Yob though, so this might lead them to a half buy, but this isn't the round that you need to lose if you're Sangal. That was a 4 versus 2. This is just a disaster for them. Sinners, well, they're up 10-8. Just the fact that they managed to win a round like that shows us how much they're willing to fight, and they're 6 away from going to the grand final.
It's a scary prospect, it truly is, but that's the only fair moving forward. And tell you what, let's see if they can try and topple them. And for Sangal, their buy is shaky right now. If Sinners can find this 11th whilst resetting Sangal, they're going to be in a perfect position. Whereas on the flip side, Sangal wins this one, Sinners, they're in the spot of bother.
They are indeed. Oh, just the fact that we have the scout instead of the AWP, we still know how dangerous Emmer could be with it, but it doesn't look so good. But as I say that pass, he's good for the first. This is a nice beginning, but pass, he's been absolutely phenomenal for this entire series. And let me tell you what, he is 11 to 15, but stats can't tell you how impactful he has been.
Without a doubt, and the impact he's boasted has just been insane. But now Sinners, as they back away down towards, again, 4-man setup, spread out there, teasing a bit towards T-spawn, but it won't matter. Major finding shock elsewhere with the aggression towards Zaps. It forces the Sinners side to rotate back around towards A, into the 3-man setup, and Sangal, they couldn't be more prepared for the stake. They're in a perfect position. They've got utility ready for a retake, Engine in a kind of one-and-done position to just even out a man count. And with that, Sinners, little do they know, they're walking into a bit of a trap.
Engine hiding towards Sandwich. Now, he needs his teammate towards City to wait for him, and he's gonna time the peek. He needs at least 2 in this situation, gets down the first, now he can hide and try and win time. Emmer to support, and Sango, just like that, they managed to cancel the entire push, and, well, Emmer, he's gonna deny Oscar in the end, saving up the AKs. And, well, I'm not sure if we looked at this one in that perspective, because we were thinking about Sinners having the chance to reset the economy of Sango and put themselves in a pretty decent position, but Sango, they've done exactly the same to Sinners. The Czech team, they have no money to work with, and this is all on the back of just winning close rounds. This 2 versus 4, it was an insane round to win, but still losing 3 players didn't work out wonders for them.
Without a doubt, and as Sangal tries to hold, it's going to be Sinners who, they've got Deagles here or there, too substantial. So we'll wait to see what they have in store for us. And Shock just teasing a peek, trying to catch out the initial player, but nothing too substantial just yet. Major, ready for the aggression.
There shouldn't be. Sinners, they're playing the default, maybe trying to punish an aggressive play from Sangal. They're playing this in a textbook matter, aren't they? They're just being defensive. And as things go forward, we see Sinners actually making their way up connector. This might get a bit messy for Sango, but Engine, he's there to fire back, and, well, from there on, there should be nothing that Sinners will be allowed to do in this round.
But now, Engine and him all there would catch out a few members. It's all on Beast King. Last man left standing as well, he's caught out. It leaves it Sangal to make it 10. And as they tie things up, it forces Sinners to go to their next full buy, but there's no more that cushion of a couple of rounds to play with. It's do or die, really, as for now, Sangal are in a perfect position to move on ahead.
They are. At this point, Sinners, despite of being on the T side, and of course, all of us, we know it is harder to build up a sustainable economy for the CT, but at this point, Sinners, they are in a situation where if they don't get the bomb down, they're going to be reset after every single round they lose. And this is quite a scary prospect. Let's see though, Sango, they've been absolutely phenomenal, and Sinners, they're going for the same default that Sango have been utilizing on their T side. And the thing is that, do Sango realize it? Do they know how to counter it? Logic, he's gonna go for the peek. Oh, the timing.
Now, transferring out either way, nothing too substantial as all Majors dinked on down. They'll survive nonetheless though. Backing on forward, trying to catch out the odd member. as Logic Man cower in window, trying to spot out the initial player. Unable to do so though, but he needs to be wary of this ladder room control, which may come back to bite him right now as Frag, just a well-timed peek, should finish the job on him. Instead, Logic Man aggresses down from window. Zedco finds him, shock trades, and Sinners, as they keep the man count even, they look to push on forward, and they congregate towards the top of Apps. Sangal, they do have Apps control established, but we'll have to see if it's good enough of a hold. As the smokes go flying, the players push forward, and the site is there to be defended.
Oh, the bait might work out just perfectly. Do they check for it? There's the flash pass, good for one. Oscar fast on the refragment major. He needs to stand his ground here. And he's not gonna do it. Neo to take his hand, lean the shoulders in. Well, Emmer, he's just pushing through it. He just got a flash, pushing through it, trying to deny the plan, but Neo there to shut him down. And Engine now, the 1 versus 3, he's gonna fall short to Oscar. Sinners, they make it 11. Sangal still having the money to go for the reinvestment, but to what avail? Sinners just exploiting this default from Sango in the best way possible. They're just giving Sango a taste of their own medicine at this point.
For now, Sinners, they lead by 1 round. Let's see how they fare pushing forward as Sangal. Again, just hold a bit of a default actually. We don't see anything too extreme. Logic Man, he teases a peek on mid, but as he can't find anything, he just backs away. So, for the most part, Sangal are actually going to be in a bit of a tough position now. Mollies go out, and Sinners at the ready. They're going to spot out each player, but what? The fact that he was able to survive for that
no way!
Abhorrence as Zedco trades. Ibble gets the next say in the matter. However, that goes 2 on 4. Logic Man flashed off the angle, and for now, Zedco, he's the sole defender of the safe site. Bomb in hand, and right now, he really needs Beastie to show a bit of presence. By some miracle, Paz doesn't hear him. Beastie's flank now. We'll have to see how strong it is, but looks like Major's ready for him. AUG in hand, and as he's caught out, it's all on Zedco.
Zedco into 1 versus 4, but just how much damage can he do? Every single kill that he gets in this situation is going to be massive for his team, but he's heavily tagged down to 2 HP, and I doubted that he will even find the first. Trying to play around the smoke, going actually for the bomb plant and almost getting it. But did you see how chill my man Engine was on that ladder? Please tell me that. Don't tell me that you didn't see that.
The fact he was able to live that long, it should have been punished. And
how is my man so chill with that? It just how he's just standing on the ladder, watching them from behind and not moving for a solid 2 seconds. How is that?
What? Yeah, I'm in awe, frankly. But now Uthil goes out. Sangal again. They go for a bit of control towards window, but Logic Man, wherever the nade stacks, backs away. Sinners on the eco, makes their way to the connect. They dig down him more, but he's able to get a kill before backing on away. For Sinners, I think this round is just a matter of cleaning up. Granted, they finish the job on him all, but yeah, I think 1 or 2 kills is all they're going to be after here.
It's just amazing. Sinners down to the EQ, as we said, only a couple of graded pistols, but at this point they're doing a fair amount of damage with him. This is not how Sango need to lose members. In a round like that, they need to build up economy. This is the round that they need to build up economy and use it so that they're able to rebuy no matter what happens to the end of the game. But losing 2 players to only pistols isn't the best option. Of course, the bomb plant will get denied by pass, and well, just like that, Zedco is left in the 1 versus 3. Now, if he finds even 1 more, that's ideal. That's just huge.
Without a doubt, and for the time being, it falls down to last players here for Sinners, and yeah, what are they gonna do? Zedco, if he's lucky, he might find the odd kill here or there, but in a 1v2 with only 35 seconds left, it's gonna be a tough hold. And again, Zedco spouts the smoke a little. Through the smoke, he finds Paz. Now this is scary, and it's winnable. He'll shift his way into Apps. He doesn't have the timing though, as Engine finishes the job. And Sangal against the full eco. They shouldn't have let it get that close.
That's actually a disaster at this point. I was really thinking that this is the chance for Sango to establish some dominance on the second half, but losing 4 players to the eco, they won't have the AWP. They're denied from an oak. Immer, he's gonna have to play with the scout. Of course, they have the M4s, they have the oak. We've seen them being really dangerous with this kind of a buy, but still you shouldn't be risking so much against pistols, because now if they lose 1, they're completely reset. And Sinners, yet again going for the same default. They seem to absolutely love this one.
Without a doubt, and for now, let's see how it fares moving ahead as Sangal, they're in a perfect position, but let's see just how it fares, let's see how it works out as he still goes down either way. Sinners look to hold. Oh, that's an opening as well as Shock takes Logic Man's head clean off, and now Sinners have that avenue of exploitation. Let's see if they commit to it, and for the most part, Major's legged on down very low as well. Sinners may have just found an opening.
They might, and this default just continues to work out wonders for them, as one player is going to make his way towards ladder. Yet again, that's Neofrag. Man advantage, HP advantage, perfect position for Sinners to just deny fully Sango. But Sango, they have the stack towards B and they have the push towards T-ramp, which of course, if Sinners decide to go for the B split, it might lead to their detriment. But at this point, it's just gonna be the A wrap from Connector, and well, this will just dismantle the stack from the side of Sango. Now the player that has pushed all the way towards despawn, he needs to fall back. And well, they might as well just go for the safe at this point, Sango. Do they even go for this?
Bomb has been planted.
Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if they go for the save, and
Yeah.
it looks like they've read your mind, Ted. They back away, they save, and you know, to highlight that as well, their economy is not in a good place, and neither is Sinners, to be honest. If Sinners had lost this round without bomb plant, Stangle on 13, subsequently 14 based on the force that would have come through from Sinners.
Yeah.
Now Stangle, they back away. Sinners tie things up 12 to 12, and as we push on forward, this game could genuinely go either way.
It could go to an overtime as well, and this is just the recipe for an interesting best of 3. This kind of feels like the final before the final here, because we had like both teams winning the map choice of their opponents and not doing it like it wasn't one-sided. We can't say it was one-sided on either of them, but it wasn't overtime sided. It was like 16-11, 16-13, these little mistakes punishing them, but still pretty solid performance by both teams on the first 2 rounds, the first 2 maps. And now as we go to the decider, they're just playing round for round. Because in every single map before, we had one team just having a slight dominance throughout the entire map. Here, it has been both of them. There hasn't been a leader, but Sinners, they want to become one.
I'll tell you what, that might be their absolute chance to do so. Neofrag up in towards the ladder room, an area that's really worked quite well for Sinners as of late. We see that Sangal, they try to catch out the odd player. However, well, however possible for now, just trying to make this opening work for them as well. Immor shuts down Oscar, a beautiful shot to kick things out, and tell you what, Oscar time and time again has actually fallen towards Apps, and Sinners don't really have much of a response. Neofrag, he's already been spotted down towards ladder as well, so Sangal wary to the tune that Sinners may have been attempting a bit of a mid-B split right now, but when our smokes go out, it forces Engine forwards rather than backwards. Eventually he'll back away before Zetko's crosshair lays its eyes on him. Instead, we take a moment in a lull with Sinners being a man down.
Of course, Sango, they want to play it as defensively as possible, but at this point, this position for Engine, it is massive because there's no one in Palace, which means that he can't get punished. If he continues to hold the angle, he's actually gonna peek into it, but Neo, he is ready for it. That was exactly what he's waiting for. Now Beastic with a crucial fight, and he's gonna win it over Logic. Pass falling to CT, and this is just crumbling for the side of Sango, but Immor with the scout is actually gonna get a double as Major. Gonna add on to that, but Neofrag peeking onto Major, take him down. That was messy, but in the end, it works.
Roller coaster of emotions there, but it does not matter. Instead, we see Sangal, they fall, so Sinners come out on top, and it forces Sangal down to an eco, or what could be considered the worst possible timing for them. They take a moment to hold, but they take a moment to try and catch out these members with this eco, and maybe if they can do the odd bit of damage here or there, it would work for them, but see if that's enough.
Sinners on their way to make it 14, and Sango. The scary prospect is that every single round has been a close one. Now that's the full B execute. And do you know what I love? Major, he's gonna find the first, should be refract straight away. As Beastic, he's gonna take down Immer. Major's still alive, there's the refract. I love the fact that Sinners are pretty much, I don't want to say that they're copying the T side of Sangal, but they have stolen some rounds from Sangal. Or it might be Sangal that have stolen these rounds from Sinners, but they have a pretty similar approach to the way that they're playing Mirage.
Without a doubt, I'm going to have to see just how they fare moving forward. As for now, it's going to be Engine to find BCK. He'll be able to back away, he'll save that AK, but other than that, Neofrag finishes the job. Sinners, they make it 14, and with that, 14 to 12 the scoreline. Sangal, they move to their next buy in an attempt to topple Sinners, but they're facing a reset, and Sinners, they take a timeout, and what a time to take a timeout. Great timeout from them, just to consider what to do and just take a moment to have a breather before they take this deep breath before a plunge.
Yeah, exactly. The reason they're doing this, they realize that they could easily lose this and rebuy into the upcoming one. It won't be something dramatic, but if they win it, then it's massive. If they win this one, they're gonna fully reset the economy of Sangal, making it up to what could be a 15th round. And, well, this is a scary prospect for Sangal. It is pretty much do or die for them. Considering Sinners, they already are up to 14. If they win this one and reset the economy, what are Sangal gonna have to fight? And at this point, Sinners, they might be realized that it could be easy to force a safe call as well for Sangal. Because if they get themselves onto a bomb site, if they manage to plant the bomb, there's a high chance that Sangal go for the save just by being scared of a potential reset. For now, let's see Zedko. He's gonna take down pass. That's a beautiful way to open things up.
Now Logic Man able to shut down one more. Neofrag to respond yet again, and as Sangal, they still maintain a position where they're a man down. It's a tough position to be in, as we see Immort finding Oscar, evening out the man counts, but what's the response? It looks like it will be a mid-to-way split from Sangal, or from Sinners right now into Sangal, but caught out. Engine is able to find Neofrag. Response comes through towards this A site as Beastakey finds Immor. 2-on-2 the take right now towards stairs. Engine comes out on top, finding Beastakey. Shocking a 1 versus 2. Spots out the first player trying to cross. He looks to finish the job, unable to do so as Engine comes out on top. And with that, Sangal look to make it 13.
Ooh, that's such a roller coaster of emotions. And by the way, I think for Sinners, the damage has been done. They have actually lured Sangal into maybe a false sense of victory right here, because Sangal, nonetheless, they're winning the round, but look at their money. Look at what they have going into this one. If they lose one, it's pretty much done. And even if Sinners lose one more, they will be able to rebuy. Just doing damage is important at this part. Sinners, you usually see teams not concentrating so much on that damage game in the end of the games. This is the part where you're used to just seeing full buy after full buy after full buy. But Sinners, they are setting up themselves for a pretty decent one at this part. And they're going for the fast split towards A, but Logic is there to deny Neo. That's early man advantage for the CTs, as now Sinners, they're gonna make their way out ramp. Engine with the flash, with the peek, goes for it. There's the double flash though, gets mollied off. Engine now needs to peek into it. Kills going left, right, and center. Actually, it's gonna be Immer to finish off his teammate. And just like that, Sinners, they have the man advantage, but damage has been inflicted.
They only just have the advantage as well, as we see a push come through as Oscar finds Major. It's all on Paz on the flank now, 1 versus 3. It's a doable round, and if there was ever a man to do it, it would be Paz right now. He's had clutch after clutch, round after round, and as he spots out the first, he moves on forward. He knows the second's there. The nade should finish the job. Doesn't quite do so. A shot goes so desperately low on HP. This will back away. He'll turn around. He'll retreat towards mid, and this may be heard by the player of Beastakey.
Bomb has been planted.
Paz will commit to this rotation. Needs to come up from stairs or connector as of late.
He needs to do his best. All the experience that Paz has in this moment, all the experience, all the majors, every single big tournament, every single big game that he's played, he needs it here against the likes of Beastakey and Show. Is it gonna be enough? Pass pushing up towards the side, looking for the initial peak, deploying the smoke in Beastakey. He has it. Sangal They let Sinners go to 15 and they have no money to work with. This could be it. Sangal, they need to win 2 in a row just to force overtime, but and what do they have to fight for it? They have an SMG, they have a scout, an M4, but is that gonna be enough? They're gonna have only one rifle into this one, and Pass, well, he's gonna buy the famous Major, taking some damage early on, but Sinners, they're not gonna have a better chance. Oscar taking down Imor. That could be the beginning of the end.
Let's see how they fare pushing forward, and honestly, I think it's just going to be a tough old position ahead. Yuto goes out either way. Logic Man just blinded as the push comes through. He's unable to find one as Zetko shuts him down. Pass elsewhere though was able to respond on to beat Stevens, but as Zetko doubles up, it falls down to both Major and Engine. The last 2 members left standing in a 2 versus 4. Sinners, it's been a hard slog, but they've come out on top unless Sangal could really pull out the fireworks right now. Util goes down, Molly's forced them away, or forced them forward in this case, as Shock and Zetko respond in unison. And we see Sinners take map 3, 16 to 13.
Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Your winners here in the second semi-final. Sinners, they're gonna be moving forward to facing Linkby Vikings in the final that actually it should be starting pretty... I think it's starting in only like 20 minutes. It's right around the corner. Of course, ladies and gents, that was one hell of a matchup. We want to congratulate Sangal. I got really impressed by both teams. Sangal were insane, especially on Inferno. I really didn't think that they had a chance there. They managed to get it by surprise. Here on Mirage, it couldn't have been closer. There were so many rounds that were to the wire in the 1 versus 1s, 1 versus 2s. So many rounds. Every single one though, every single important one though, in the end going in favor of Sinners as they're gonna be heading to the final. And of course, ladies and gents, we want to thank you for being with us. We want to thank Sangal for participating in the Shadow League because it has been one hell of a run.
That it has been, and well, with that, we're going to move on ahead and we're going to move to the finals as we all watch Sinners attempt to topple the Linkby Vikings. You don't go anywhere. We'll be back momentarily.
We are, and for one last time, Kremer, I think that we need to say it. Merhaba kardeş. Thank you to all Turkish fans who have been supporting Sangal so far. We absolutely love you guys. You're amazing. Thank you to every single Sinners fan, of course, as we're looking forward to see you in 20 minutes for the final against Linkby Vikings. Stay tuned, guys. Take something to drink, get something to eat, and prepare yourselves for some more action because we're not done just yet.